what is best for business.
What? Yes! Yes!
What?
Randy Orton slithering. Watch out! Watch out!
More.
What? Viva la raza!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Welcome to episode 18 of Under the Ring, the show that will tell you what you want to know, need to know, and hope to know about the WWE. We'll give you news, theories, and predictions to Raws and pay-per-views. And for those of you joining us live on Mixlr.com/UnderTheRing, welcome. For those of you who can't catch us live,
I hate you.
you gone fucked up. But you can always find us on the YouTube at Under the Ring. You can also get up-to-date news from us over on our Twitter at Under the Ring 1 and on our Facebook on Under the Ring Radio. I'm your host, Gasper, alongside Matt.
What's going on?
Vinny.
Hey there.
And Dan.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
the Viper, baby.
Woo! Woo!
That was good, right, guys?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Well,
It was entertaining.
no, it was a bit too long.
Was it PG?
It made me giggle.
She would never say that.
I just that was
11:20 though.
that was a long Raw. That was a very long Raw.
And who's the face and the heel? We'll get into that further, right?
Who's who around here? Who runs the show?
Who's on first?
I feel like that's the question we're going to be
What's on
asking a lot tonight.
Who's the face and
Who's
who's
the
heel?
face? Who's the heels?
Let's play guess who.
Yeah, good point.
It's a lot going on right
and
now.
who's in what match? That's another game we could play.
I feel like there was way too much talking for this. There was about maybe 20, 25 minutes for this opening segment. With the whole, Seth Rollins praising Randy Orton.
really
and
slow.
Dragged
It was
out.
slow, and it just
Did not
It was
flow.
kind of awkward. I mean,
Wrong!
yeah, Big Show is trying really hard lately.
I mean,
He's trying to get what little airtime he can at this point. Come on.
I didn't mind it. I feel like Big Show has been playing a relatively good heel lately.
Yeah.
And
Can I believe it though? He turned like 1,000 times.
that is very, very
I
true.
can't believe anything.
Well, this time
anymore.
it's for the money. Come on.
Man,
Is it for the money? I mean, we'll find out later on tonight then.
But he has an ironclad contract.
That's true. He does.
Man of 1,000 personalities.
Who, I don't know, I was reading, people think that the Big Show is going to be, like, in line for the number one contender after WrestleMania
Oh
if
my
Roman Reigns
God,
does win.
no.
They're high. I hope.
Stop.
Well, you know what? I could honestly see it only if Big Show's like, I'm going to retire, and they're like, all right, we'll give it to you one more time before you go. You know what I mean? Like, it's a last hurrah. Like, if he's ready to say, I'm done, I'm
The
going to hang up
WWE World Heavyweight Championship, they're going to put it on the Big Show.
for like a month or two right before he
I didn't
goes.
say no.
I'm not saying
I
it's
didn't say
impossible.
he was going to
Yeah,
win.
no.
I'm just saying that he was going to be
I'm saying
in the title hunt.
I'm saying if he's going to retire, I could see them saying, all right, you know what? You've been with us for a long time. Here's one more title.
They've already
Then
done
we'll
that
have
by letting him continue when he's clearly not
Yeah, really. By putting him in the ring
giving
is
anything.
enough.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I guess, but that's the only way. That's the only way I could see him winning the title is if he honestly is going to retire.
I mean,
And
we
God,
all thought
let us-
Kane
let
was
us-
going to be retiring.
Let's all just pray that Big Show and Kane both retire in 2015.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I hope so.
Kane was supposed to retire after Hell in a Cell this year.
This year? I thought Kane was supposed to retire like years ago.
Oh, maybe years ago.
He just keeps putting it off.
The first segment didn't really do much. I mean,
No, not at all.
did nothing. I mean, Randy Orton said his talk shit on them. Oh, I'm just kidding, just playing with you guys. And none of them believe him except for Rollins, the sucker.
I mean, it's so obvious.
I mean, this just went on too long. This whole I'm talking about this getting to this point in the feud. Just
It
took
should have
too
happened
long.
Right
Right off
away.
the bat.
Yeah.
As
But
soon as
Randy Orton
came
is
back.
not the kind of character that's gonna hang around and be friendly just to wait till a point to fool you. He's just gonna come out and beat the shit out of you.
he has kind of gone and done like mind games and fucking with people, but this was a little bit too drastic, I think, for the Randy Orton character. I agree with you on that. Like, we've seen him in the past play mind games, attacking family members and doing whatever it takes to win and get his attention. But I think this was too much.
He put him out for months. How can I believe
That he's going to let it
He's
go.
gonna come back and be like, I'm gonna be his tag team partner. Like, it's just stupid.
Uh,
Maybe for 1 week. But they let it go too much.
Oh, it's something different. I mean, it's instead of Orton just coming back and beating him shit up for the next 4 or 5 weeks, it's
Like we
you
all
know,
expected.
Yeah.
which we all
Well-
expected. I mean, it's something different. You can't, everyone want to see Orton come back and just beat him up for the next 4 or 5 weeks. But at the same time,
But we got to that point
You know.
anyways.
Yeah,
So
but
you
you
could have
know-
had that happen. Maybe not to the degree that it happened. He gets one RKO, and then he has trouble getting to him, and Rollins gets the better of him. Now it's like
No,
we got
what-
2 Raws left, and
What
Rollins is just left in the.
they could have kept doing was that, like, because, with Orton, his character is that guy who's just going to keep coming at you. What they could have kept doing was Rollins keeps ducking him like he did at Fastlane, and then proceed to keep doing that until finally he gets his match at WrestleMania. Instead of him beating him up every week, Orton constantly trying to get to Rollins, and he...
yeah, instead of pulling the whole Cena Rusev thing, they just it's something different. So, but we like I said, we got to where we are now. They're gonna have a match, so
Thank
It
God.
hasn't been announced yet, so
It's going to happen.
enough with this
Who knows?
announcing shit. Like there's 2
And-
weeks left. It's so
And we
ridiculous.
didn't get to that portion yet. Anyways, the end of Raw. So
yeah, that's very true.
you'll find out later.
Daniel Bryan versus Bad News Barrett. Pretty decent match.
I-
Truth on commentary.
I don't know
he
if they
has been
worked
for
that
weeks.
well together though. It looked a little sluggish to me. I didn't really like the wrestling in it.
A few matches.
Daniel
did look
Bryan
sluggish.
did what was that move where he went through his legs? Like
Oh, that was really dumb.
terrible.
I didn't like that at all.
That was terrible. Like what is he doing?
That just that made no sense.
No.
Well, WWE.com has confirmed. Vinny brought this up to me when I got here that Stardust is now part of that Intercontinental.
Well, yeah, they had a
match.
question mark, but Daniel Bryan still isn't.
Yeah,
That it's
it's the inevitable.
I
Daniel Bryan is going to be in that match.
I like what they're doing with this, but the way they announce things now, WWE, is ridiculous. Like they just treat you like you're an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
Why is this person coming out holding the belt, stealing the belt, and he's not going to be in the match? Like, come on, just show whoever has come out and got involved in any of these at the end of the night say they've been added to the match.
Exactly, and the fact that if they're not going to add Daniel Bryan to this after he's been, part of this whole storyline, then they're just absolutely ridiculous with this. I mean, if you're going to put him in a match with someone else, fine, so be it. But don't put him in a storyline for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks and just not announce him. And it's just stupid.
But the question really is, who was there left to put Daniel Bryan with at WrestleMania?
Sheamus is returning.
Sheamus-
But
I don't
we
think-
still don't know when, but Sheamus is returning.
But you
He's
don't
not coming
have-
back till after.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
now I'm agreeing with
He's
Jasper.
going to be one of those surprise, one of those after the Raw after WrestleMania surprises,
Or he could
Or
come out for the
at
Battle Royal
WrestleMania.
and win the Battle Royal.
or come out as a surprise.
I
entrant
could
in
see
the
that. I
Battle
didn't
Royal.
think about that, actually. I did not think about him in that.
I mean, or if you want to turn
Battle
him heel, I mean, you could have him interfere in some kind of match
Yeah,
at
or
WrestleMania. Like, you know what I mean?
Or instead of having him, instead of having the Big Show as the number one contender, have Sheamus come back as a monster heel going after the World Heavyweight Championship.
That I could see
work
as well.
also. That would
I
work,
could see
yeah.
that as well.
I don't see Daniel Bryan, even though he's not in this match yet, I don't see him winning this match and walking out of WrestleMania. with the
I think I
Intercontinental
do.
title. I don't think so. I think he is in this match for his wrestling, and they need to put him in some kind of match that they want, and it makes it matter more also. Like, they put
I think
top
they're just.
guy. I don't think this is his level. I don't think he's going to carry the Intercontinental title.
I think
Especially
WWE's way of thinking right now is we have all these superstars. We need to have them on the card for this. Like, they're trying to get as many superstars as possible onto this
Well,
card.
yeah.
And that's why we find out, well, they haven't announced it, but it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team title match.
Yeah, but I don't know about stars, though.
Well,
That should be on
Talent.
the pre-show. I'm
Talent.
sorry.
Talent.
That should be on the pre-show.
you know what I think should be on the pre-show? The fucking Divas tag match.
Which we'll get to later.
That
No,
they made.
because
That's
they gotta
another thing,
have
too.
the Divas on WrestleMania.
Especially with
And-
the Twitter and everything else between them, you know.
Yeah, and they like having a match that's a break to put right before the main event, because if you put, we've seen time and time again, you have an Undertaker match and then you have a main event and the crowd's dead. Like they like to have it in
WrestleMania
between. Like they'll probably use the Battle Royal for that
Where
too.
they cut the Divas.
They'll probably throw the Battle Royal in between, bigger matches, maybe between Triple H, Sting, and Bray Wyatt, Undertaker. Throw the Battle Royal in there, and then put the Divas in between the last match, because
Yes,
they
yeah.
got to break it up. I mean,
Well, the way this Raw ran was
Rushed.
this guy's going to come out now.
Very
Wait, he has a match next, so...
I like it being
I didn't mind it.
connected for this part of it. Later on with the tag teams, I did not like
yeah,
that.
it got a little...
It's
The
a little too
Divas.
forced,
Yeah.
and they're guys that don't really get matches every week, and it's just
Well, for those who didn't see, at the end of this match, Daniel Bryan versus Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett,
Dean
Dean
Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose came out and attacked Bad News Barrett. setting up a match against
Yeah.
Stardust, who had the Intercontinental title. And for those who, how'd he get it? He stole it at a house show.
Oh, I think he's still on SmackDown. They showed
Oh,
up.
did he?
Yeah, he's still on.
He's still on SmackDown? I thought he
came
stole
out
it
and
at a house
attacked
show.
Brian.
No, he still
Brian,
had it then. I think.
Brian was walking away with it, and Stardust attacked him.
It's also getting really annoying with the whole stealing of the title thing.
Yeah,
It's
you
getting
know.
old at this point. Like,
But R-Truth
It's
is
this whole thing
fantastic.
was.
I hate
This whole thing
R-Truth.
was a good idea. I
dumb.
just want to see a little more, maybe a little more aggression. It's a little more. It's a little like
cheesy.
jokey,
Yeah.
like a comedy routine.
They're just
like,
making a joke
Have somebody
out of
knock
way
someone
better.
out backstage and take the belt. You
But
know
when's
what
the
I mean?
last
Like,
time you saw R-Truth being serious? I mean, I don't like the
that's
commentary the
fine,
way it's
but
going. Like
you have Harper, you have Ziggler, Barrett. Like
All these
these are
big
guys that are
names.
not.
well, yeah,
like,
he's supposed to be comedy
not-
relief.
not comedy guys. All the other ones, really. I mean,
R-Truth is the new Santino.
Yeah, he's the
But
comedy
even the
relief.
other ones are being the way that I don't know the way this is playing out is I like it. At least it's giving a reason for this match. Normally it's like, oh, these 8 guys are in the match, watch it. Now it's like, oh, they're all getting involved. At least they're doing something to make it matter. But
They're making it seem more less than a prop than the IC title has been for the past couple of years.
I'd rather it get away from the joke stuff though. Like
Yeah. Have Wade Barrett really just try and beat the
Just
crap out
have
of everyone,
people,
try and get it.
doing all
you
their
know?
finishers to each other, trying to get the belt and stuff like that. But,
well, I mean, that's kind of what happened.
yeah,
they've
it
been
is,
doing it in the
but
ring,
in between
yeah.
matches, like people walking away with the belt and stuff. Like I don't know, it was good for a week or 2, but it's like you gonna keep doing this.
Ring around the championship.
Yep.
Well, which brings us to the Brock Lesnar promo.
The Brock Lesnar
My-
promo.
No, the
Yeah,
Paul
He didn't say
Heyman.
anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, the Paul Heyman promo.
Well, Brock Lesnar doesn't talk. He
He
doesn't
got
need
paid
to.
to stand there. He didn't do anything tonight.
Which is,
I'm not-
come on, would you complain if you were him? Hey, we're going to give you this much money just to stand there and hold the title and look intimidating.
Just have him kick somebody's ass, even if it's not Roman Reigns' ass. Have
Well,
him
I mean,
come out and.
He doesn't
What
need
did he do the
to.
other time? He destroyed like the
He-
New Age Outlaws.
He
Remember
doesn't
that? Like,
need to at this point. He's Brock Lesnar.
He should just come out and when we're watching Los Matadors and the Usos, and
Just
I don't want
destroy
to
all
fucking
4 of
watch
them.
it at all, and just fucking kill them all.
Kill them all.
Destroy them.
Paul Heyman is a fucking genius.
Yes, he is.
He really is.
He is phenomenal.
He's throwing everything in there for this.
Okay,
promo.
does anybody think that this promo wasn't planned, the things he said? Does anybody think that?
I'm starting to think that,
It is.
but at the same time, I'm thinking it is because there's no way in hell they would let that happen.
I mean,
Let him say
The
UFC
Montreal
stuff?
screwjob part.
Yeah.
That's
well, I mean,
fake.
they
Because just think about this for yourself. Does Brock Lesnar care about winning or losing? Has he ever cared about the booking? No. So Montreal
Well,
screwjob doesn't
you
make
said
sense.
it last night. That whole promo went from real to fake, real to
Yeah,
fake,
real
to
fake.
fake.
I didn't like
But
that.
he-
I loved the promo, but I felt like it was like if you're gonna be real, be real. And then it's like he's throwing in fake things to like, and the cutting of the mic. Like, come on, why would they turn it back on? Like it when Punk had his promo, nobody turned his mic back on. That was the end of the show,
Yeah.
and that was it. Why would you keep turning his mic back on? And people saying he's talking about UFC again. He said the week before. They always say former UFC heavyweight champion. So these are things that.
But
they're
the-
No, but he said he's going to take the WWE title and go and win the UFC title at the same time.
Over
But
summer.
rumors are
Sorry
saying
to bring up
WWE is
again,
agreeing upon letting him fight in UFC while under
While
contract
under contract
with them. So if that's true, they're gonna say this stuff.
Yeah, but the problem I see with that
Is
that
getting hurt. That was my
Yes.
thing last night.
You can't do both. I mean, UFC is not WWE. It's
Yeah,
not
but
scripted.
You can't have Lesnar have the championship
No, yeah, of
if
course
he
not.
goes to UFC.
No, of course.
Well,
not.
100%
it's a
no.
no-go.
But
Yeah.
I don't think the plan going forward after WrestleMania, when they're doing contract negotiations, is Brock Lesnar being champion. I don't think that's the plan.
Because all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar's going to walk in one night with a black eye, completely taped up ribs, and you're like, wait, what happened? Because if you don't watch UFC and you're watching, like, just Raw, you can't hide the injuries that come in
Yeah,
UFC. I mean, these guys don't
Well-
come in from the next
Yeah,
night
but
like
Brock
Raw.
Lesnar
I think the
is
fans
not
would
going to be
follow
there
it
the
though.
next night. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
could be
that's
a
true.
month's breaks. You know.
I think the fans would follow it. If I don't think any fan knowing that Brock Lesnar, the champion of Raw, I'm champion of WWE, would go into a fight and then be like, wait, what happened to him? Where'd he go?
Yeah, but like they
People
said,
know.
like I agree with Dan and Gasper. They won't let him do it. If
Oh,
he's
of course
shit,
they
yeah.
wouldn't. No.
It's gonna.
Right.
He's gonna have to go down to
I'm
the
saying, I
lesser
was just
degree.
saying back to your
Now-
fact, like people don't watch, like, or people do watch, they would know what happened. Like, no, they wouldn't know. Like, everyone knows about the CM Punk thing going to UFC. So They would know if Brock Lesnar was on the
We're
fight.
not going into that. We've already got into that.
No, don't do it. I'm saying
Someone's
they
got to
would
throw a
know.
table about that
I know,
again.
I'm saying, but they would know Brock Lesnar would be in the fight.
No,
I like the things he was saying. I'm just
I
not
love the
gonna.
things that
he-
I'm not
think
gonna
that-
believe that was not planned.
Do you think the financial comment, though, was planned? When they actually talked about the
Seth Rollins would
money.
be much cheaper
Yeah.
as a champion than Brock Lesnar. I mean, I think this is common knowledge. Now it's reality era. They want to get people in with that. I think this road to WrestleMania has been pretty stale. And last night,
terrible.
everything I believe was planned. Even the picture on our Mixler right now, that was planned. It was all to get hype for the show. And I think they just didn't care, and they broke the rules and said some things that they wouldn't normally say because they're trying to get people interested. That gets the internet interested. People
Now-
hearing real things.
I went on this tangent. I was about to go on this tangent with you, but I told you I'd save it for the show.
Okay.
It just seems like the story of this main event is more about Brock Lesnar and his contract than it
Yeah.
is Roman Reigns rising to the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it's because they don't want to have Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have a physical confrontation until WrestleMania.
But
because
if you think
these are
about
just
it,
two guys that they can't stand next to someone and talk. Like, they're just going to want to kick ass, and they don't want to show that. They want to do a WrestleMania.
but if you think about it, the past couple of WrestleManias, the guys who've won the championships, they've had they talk about his story, his background, his struggle, this and that. I mean, they're trying to do that with
Yeah, they're doing
Reigns.
that.
Like, look at Daniel Bryan. You look at him,
Well,
weird.
no, yeah, because
Look at Daniel Bryan last
nothing
year.
before that, though.
Daniel
John
Bryan,
Cena, they were doing like a redemption
Shawn Michaels in
storyline.
1996, Austin in 98, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero in 2002.
No, well, you said
Or
recently. I was thinking the last, like, 4 or 5 WrestleMania. I
Well,
was like, huh?
I'm just saying the past couple champions, like, they've all had a story to tell.
Yeah, not this
Even
one.
Edge cashing in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
It was more of a, I deserve this because I've been here for this long, this and that. They try to make it with Reigns, but it
I think
hasn't been
they're
working.
also going this way because I think this is also a ploy to get Lesnar some booze. Let's bring the crowd in on the fact that, you know, he might not be here after WrestleMania and he wants to go to UFC and he wants money. Let's bring it in so Reigns might get some more cheers that way. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking
I
that
don't- So good.
they have Brock Lesnar storm out on a Raw, planned.
No, that
Have
was,
him show up at UFC. Vince didn't like it, but it would
no, I'm not
allow
going to
it.
go that far.
Have Heyman mentions UFC on TV.
Yeah, but they've always done that. They've
Yeah.
always
The
said
only
UFC
intrigue in this
heavyweight
match
champion,
is
Brock
in
Lesnar.
the real life situation of Brock Lesnar's contract, and
That-
the WWE knows it.
Yeah.
Yes,
True,
but
I think they're
again,
using this to put him in a heel.
But I don't think so.
Because the crowd was starting to cheer Brock Lesnar a lot.
Yeah,
But I think by
Royal
making,
Rumble, the crowd was
making
cheering him
his
a lot.
contract the center of the story, the whole storyline, is them knowing that they fucked up with this storyline.
Yeah.
Well, the
I
thing
think
is,
they
don't-
want what happened at WrestleMania 20. They want the crowd to turn on just him, not him and Goldberg in this case.
I honestly don't see them turning on Brock Lesnar just
No, they
because he wants to go to the UFC.
but I think they
Because
want that for
it's-
Roman Reigns because they want
But
Roman
it's
Reigns
not going to
have everything.
happen
I know.
because
It's
the
not.
fans aren't idiots. They know
I know.
Lesnar loves UFC. They know he loves fighting.
But do you think WWE, they're still going to make their attempts, just like having The Rock come out? We're not idiots, but
yeah.
they thought that would work.
I honestly got that really
But
pissed me off.
if Reigns wins the belt, okay, we'll say he wins, he's fucked. There's no story behind him winning. The story's all about Brock Lesnar losing, going to UFC, and not in the WWE anymore.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
a huge problem for the WWE.
And then the other
Huge.
thing is, if he does go to UFC, he's not going to be around even every 4 months because he's going to be training. Let's say he goes to UFC and they announce it.
Yeah, but he comes out on Raw for 10 minutes. I mean, I'm sure he can
But-
continue a lot of his training.
But,
I mean,
but for what? He's not going to have matches in between his match. Up until his first match in UFC, he's not going to have a match because his trainers from UFC are going to sit
I'm
there
not
and say,
convinced we're going to see Brock Lesnar after WrestleMania.
"I don't think we will." If he's going to
I
UFC,
don't-
I don't think we will.
Because he probably,
I hate to say it, but
not until after his first
walkout-
match.
I don't think he cares about
What would
staying WWE champion, but he wants to be paid like if he was
Yes.
going to be
Yeah,
champion.
what would be the storyline even if he did come back and show up after WrestleMania? There's no storyline from after. Oh, I'm angry. I'm gonna
They
fight.
always find
No.
It
something.
doesn't matter.
for
They-
him.
But
yeah.
there would be
I
no
mean,
story.
you look
They're
at
gonna fight him
WrestleMania
again.
29, he fought Triple H again.
They'll always have that itch to have him and The Rock
But that wasn't
go
for
at
the
it one more
championship, though.
time.
Yep.
And they'll probably have
But that wasn't for the championship.
because he faced Roman
No,
Reigns.
no, no.
We're not saying it's going to be a championship.
No, we're not- yeah, not at all.
They'll find something.
Yeah, Roman Reigns took the belt from him. He comes back and he destroys Roman Reigns at some random point, and The Rock says he wants him now. You know what I mean?
versus
Like,
Rock.
Yeah.
God, please don't.
No, there are
they
there are
want that.
things.
They
that,
wanted that for years, though.
there are things that they can.
Years ago, not now.
There
They
are
still
things that
want
they
that.
can do for him. You know, it could be Bray Wyatt coming out running his mouth. Like, let's say he beats the Undertaker at WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt, I'm saying 6 months down the road, he keeps bragging about how he killed the dead man. And all of a sudden, Lesnar comes out and says, I did it first. And now all of a sudden, you got Bray Wyatt versus Lesnar. It's potential.
No, but that would be like down the line. Like we're talking about like right after
WrestleMania, Lesnar's
right
gone.
No.
You're absurd. You're
that's
saying
not
that
what-
if you're thinking Brock Lesnar's going to
Even
fight
if
him
he's
on
under
street
contract,
rules.
he's
No,
not
I'm
going to
saying
fight.
there would be no storyline after that. That's no.
Yeah, no,
That's
I-
why I was saying
I
earlier
agree
that's
with
you
you.
either bring the Big Show into the title hunt or you put Sheamus into that role.
I think.
Or
No
even
matter
have
what,
Seth
we wouldn't see him
Rollins.
until SummerSlam. Either way.
At the very earliest, I would say SummerSlam. That's what, about
Who,
5
Lesnar?
months? Yeah,
But see, there's
Lesnar.
no, this is all
But I would say even
speculation.
I would
we have
even-
no idea
Alright,
what's going
I would even go
on.
longer. I'd actually say
So-
Royal Rumble because if he's going to UFC, like I said, his trainers, his UFC trainers. I'm not talking about WWE. His trainers aren't going to sit there and say you can have a match in WWE because God forbid you get hurt. Dana White's
Yeah,
going
but his trainers don't make the call because he has his own camp in UFC.
No,
and
I
pretty much he
understand. No,
can
I
say what
understand
his
that,
schedule
but you
is.
know what? The thing is, Dana White even would step in and go, "Listen, you can't fight in WWE. God forbid you get hurt, and now I have to cancel your match in UFC because you wanted to go do WWE." No,
What if?
Well,
Dana White won't let it do it. He'll sit there. I guarantee.
then he
Dana,
won't get the contract. I'm saying if he can somehow get the contract where both allow both.
it would have to be until I'm saying if he does get that contract where he gets both. UFC is going to have a stipulation. They're saying you can't have Lesnar until after his first match because we want to protect our asset and say he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I guess so.
You would see him fighting What I'm saying is after WrestleMania, if he gets both contracts, you will see Lesnar fighting UFC before you see him wrestle again.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
What if Vince McMahon just owns UFC? And
God.
he just doesn't care.
Please stop.
It's
Vince
Vince.
cannot run another company.
How crazy would that be?
I don't want Vince.
Just as crazy as this next match: Ryback and Eric Rowan versus Kane and the Big Show.
This
What a
one.
humdinger!
Now,
This is my
I'm not going to
humdinger.
disgrace the Divas anymore and say they're the bathroom break. This was the fucking bathroom break for me.
Yep.
This wasn't even the bathroom break. We were checking the backyard to make sure there was no ice in the backyard,
On the stairs, right? Because the people.
so no one fell. But someone still winded up falling anyway.
Were they drunk?
No, it was
Oh,
totally
yeah,
sober.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just Brendan being Brendan.
Well, that's
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense now.
And- Oh,
Why is this a thing? Now you have Ryback and Dolph Ziggler
It was
tagging
so
up,
bad.
and then now you have Ryback and Eric Rowan tagging up.
It's like
They're
they
just
just
throwing
decided to
everywhere.
put like the worst wrestlers in the company in one match. I like
Yep.
Ryback, but I can't put him on the high on the rest
instead of the
of
big guys, it's the slow guys.
Yeah, it's like they're putting Ryback in matches with people. That's like, can we just make him look any worse? I mean,
Yeah,
you have a guy that has some kind of potential, but you can't put him with everyone. You know, just like Roman Reigns, you can't put the guy with everyone, but he's getting put with the best people. So-
Yeah, but the best people, like again, this is what I've been saying for weeks. The match between him and Lesnar, as much as I love Lesnar, is going to be boring as hell.
yeah.
It's not going to be an entertaining wrestling match. It's two guys who
And
aren't
you know
great.
you're going to be left annoyed at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, how did Brock Lesnar not kick out of that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Since he bounces up from an AA, no matter what, like, no matter what.
He takes a tombstone pile driver and he bounces up from it,
this match just
and
needs
yeah,
to be
he gets a
fucking
spear and he's
brutal.
done.
You're believing.
But it won't be. It won't
It's
be.
it's the only way I believe that Brock Lesnar will lose to Roman Reigns.
No, he'll take like 3 spears and lose.
Yeah.
What? He took 3 AAs and still won.
Yeah, but the spear is
broken
more
rib.
powerful.
Broken rib.
The AA doesn't finish
Yeah,
it.
you are right. They are playing
Yeah,
that broken
broken
rib.
rib.
I forgot all
They didn't
about
mention
that.
I completely forgot the broken rib.
You see,
They'll mention it at
haven't-
WrestleMania,
they-
and I'll be
yeah.
like, I'll just throw my hands in
He'll
the air
show
like,
up randomly with his ribs taped up or something like that.
That's
Oh
why I
my
forgot
God.
all about that. They haven't even played that angle in a really long time. So.
Well, because Rollins
glad
hasn't
they
mentioned it.
Big Show knocking out Kane.
Whoops.
Great.
Stephanie
Whoopsie.
McMahon saying, "What the hell happened to you guys?"
Oh my god. When she came out, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Shut the hell up, please. It's like, she's
Her and her
so
big old
annoying.
titties.
Listen,
Tickle bitties?
Tickle bitties.
she's on and off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
On and off. I'd say mostly off, sometimes on. Rarely on.
I have not
What was the
liked
point of
anything that has...
Save that for backstage.
Yeah.
Don't bring her out and like a fucking pterodactyl.
I think it was just camera filling.
That's
It was
what
too
Sting
long,
or the
too.
voiceover for Sting.
You had a show that went till 11:20 tonight. You don't think you could have cut a few minutes there? I mean, she could have yelled at King Big Show for about a minute. She kept talking and talking.
They could have
and
just cut
talking
a
and
promo in the back,
But wait.
and as soon as they came in the back,
Leave
she
the
just.
ring.
Are you really blaming the time for that when Wiz Khalifa performed for 15,
Oh yeah,
20
that could have
minutes?
been one or two songs.
That's what I'm
but-
saying. Like, I mean, I do agree
We
with
were
bad,
saying
but
we were saying last night that why have this on the road to WrestleMania?
Yes.
Why?
Exactly.
Why
I did
have
not
it
mind
with
it.
Khalifa?
I didn't know
I
it
did
was-
not mind it at all because, like, you know, he likes wrestling and he's a part of like the video game and doing the song.
but
Okay, but not 3 weeks before WrestleMania.
Right.
Not a good time. You could do this in
Terrible time.
a deader time in the year, get viewers in.
Like
Road to
next month
WrestleMania.
for Extreme Rules.
It's just like
well,
you really.
it was in Pittsburgh. It
that's
was his
again.
hometown.
I feel like it was desperation. I feel like they understand that the hype is not that big for this WrestleMania, considering the card's pretty solid.
Well,
the hype is not
the
that
other
big.
thing is the card really hasn't officially been announced. I mean, we have certain things that still haven't really
Which is
been
pissing
thrown.
me the
but that
fuck
happens
off.
every year. They don't announce the full card a month before. They never really do.
But this is 2 weeks before, and it's like they're making it so obvious that the matches are happening, and they're just sort of refusing to announce it. Like, it's a fucking joke.
WrestleMania is next week.
No,
2
it's
weeks.
not.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from
20
Monday.
days.
2 weeks from Sunday.
Yeah, 2 weeks from
And there's
Sunday.
like 3 matches that
Oh, it's
are
29?
gonna happen. They
Yes,
refuse to announce
wow.
them. It's just fucking a joke.
Interesting.
It's a joke.
I
You got drill that weekend?
no, I have it next week, and that's why I was confused.
Oh,
That would
Uh,
suck.
What?
Would you miss WrestleMania?
No,
It's like,
he'd be
I
the
don't-
way.
It's a pay-per-view. You're crazy. You're crazy.
It's just
especially
you-
WrestleMania.
Usually the
Usually
drills
my
goes
drills
with
end
it.
on
Oh yeah, you go home
my
Sunday. yes, yes.
pay-per-view.
Are we still
weekends.
on that match, that tag team match?
Yeah, I guess.
What tag team match?
We kind of just went with the
No,
Stephanie
yeah, yeah.
route. and
Next.
I
There's
think
nothing else?
I honestly think that the Sting vignette played after this, if I recall correctly, or was that after the Divas match? Anyway, let's talk about it.
Sting, not
Oh.
Sting. Sting, not Sting.
It was Sting.
So stupid.
His voice was altered. I found somewhere online. I think it was on Reddit.
There's no reason for that.
Why
They
alter
put-
his voice?
I don't. I guess they wanted him to sound more menacing because he's not going to speak at all.
God.
They put his voice from the vignette, and then like a pitch higher, or 2 pitches higher, and then his actual voice, and it's fucking.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like someone who didn't want to be on camera when they show interview people and like their face is all blacked out. Like, oh, I don't know that person.
Yeah.
It was a joke though. It's Sting.
It's terrible.
It's
He doesn't have a bad voice. He acts like he's
no, but
dying
he
of lung
can't
cancer.
Talk.
They've really I was the most interested in this feud and match probably in the beginning of January, and now they've somehow made it so this is near the bottom of my interest. I may be interested in Cena Rusev more than this now. It's sad because they've tanked this. They've ruined this so bad.
Shut the front door just said his problem with this WrestleMania is we haven't heard talking from Sting, Lesnar, or
yeah.
Taker.
Well, here's the thing. Lesnar really doesn't talk that much. I could give him that credit.
No, but
the only
3
other
main
things-
events, and you don't have the guy there.
Yep.
Most of
They're
the
all
time, the
being
guy's not
carried by one person and one person.
Lesnar is the smallest case because he's there a little more. Taker we're not getting. Sting we're
Taker
not
Wyatt
getting.
is being carried by Wyatt. Sting Triple H is being carried by Triple H. And we didn't even see Triple H last night.
But out of all the people, out of the bigger surprise is that Bray Wyatt, I think, has done a better job carrying it.
Oh, without
I thought
a doubt.
Triple H was doing a good job carrying it, but this feud is a long feud with Sting. It's gone since Survivor Series. He was doing a great job, but this last week with the whole Booker T thing, that was terrible. This whole WCW thing, terrible. Don't mention WCW ever again. It's old news. It's terrible.
Vinny and I were talking about this before you guys got here. That we were talking about Bray Wyatt and how amazing of an actor he is. I mean, that's one of the things
Yeah.
that's carrying this feud.
And it doesn't even matter. He
It's
was live
him.
in the ring this week, and
Yeah.
it was just as good as his backstage.
That's what we're saying.
You
Like,
get other guys like Roman Reigns, his backstage ones are okay, but then you get him live on the microphone, and he can't do it. You know what I mean?
that's what we were saying. Like, Bray Wyatt's carrying this because he can act.
so.
He is just that good on the mic that he
And I
can
don't
come out
even.
and
It's
sell
like
this.
it doesn't even feel like acting with Bray Wyatt. I just feel like that's the character that is him. Like, obviously a ridiculously exaggerated way of
Yes.
him, but I feel like he's just so comfortable in that it just feels so
Because he's
natural.
such a dark character that him going against another
Well,
dark character.
We'll get to that. I want to stick on the subject of Sting Triple H.
I don't
Do we have
know
to?
what to say.
I mean,
I'm
what do you
very
think happens next
disappointed.
week?
I've been against
I'm
this
upset.
feud from day one.
I wanted it. I loved
You
the
did,
idea.
and I hated it from day one because this is what I said was
No
going to
matter
happen.
what, when it's going to be Triple H and Sting in the ring and they're about to start the match, I mean, that's probably going to be the most interesting sight we're going to have at WrestleMania because we've never had Sting in a WWE ring.
Sting 10 years ago, I would have taken it.
know.
There-
Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just think
You're gonna
seeing
be more
Taker
interested by
and
it?
Wyatt. I could see Taker just staring Wyatt down, and Wyatt
That would
just
be
be
interesting,
like, "Do
but-
something." I just think I don't take away anything from the legendary Sting Triple H stare down, but I just think that Taker Wyatt stare down as much as I don't want that match.
Well, because we haven't seen a
I
stare
just-
down with them yet, so it's going to seem a little bit bigger once
Yeah.
Taker finally gets there because we won't see
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, we.
But I just think the Sting Triple H match is more intriguing. That's the match that's pulling. That's the match that is getting them buys from people that have not watched wrestling in 10 years. Oh, Sting's wrestling? I gotta see that. You know what I mean? That's the match that
Because
grabs
no one gave a
people.
shit when it was on TNA.
Nope.
No, they didn't. They didn't. But again, I just don't see the match being that good. That's why I didn't
I
want
don't see
this.
Triple H.
How many matches on this card are gonna be? You get the Sting Triple H match. It's not
the,
gonna
I
be.
don't
the
see
IC
Triple H,
title is the only one I think
the
is going
Bray
to be good.
Wyatt Undertaker match not gonna be
No.
good.
No.
The main,
The only match I see being good on this card right now is the IC title ladder match.
that's what I've been saying. For
Triple
the past
H.
2 weeks.
No, I
He's gonna
don't.
make this.
As good as Triple H is, I can't see him carrying that match to an extent where it's like I'll sit there and say it's enjoyable.
It's not going to be, people flying around a wrestling match, but
Nope.
I think I
don't-
think the story of it, the fact
See, I'm
that
not
we're
worried-
never going to.
I think you're wrong. I don't see it being an entertaining match at all. Even if it's no high flying, there's going to be
I
no
have
entertainment.
no doubts in Triple H.
It's
All
Sting.
my doubt
It's
is in
Sting.
Sting.
He's too old. That's what I've been saying from day one.
Not even the old. It's just
No,
the ring
he's-
rust.
but
He's
Yeah.
too old.
I mean, we've seen Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon put on a fucking classic.
That's
If
true.
we could see that, I'm not limiting someone by age.
I have faith in them, Taker Wyatt. I mean,
No, I don't.
the thing is, put it this way, because Taker, he's not.
No, that
he
I have
hasn't
more
been
faith
putting
in the
on-
wrestling for Sting Triple H because Wyatt and Taker, neither of them can carry a match like Triple H can with the wrestling. Triple H can make anybody look good.
Of course.
He's not the most technical wrestler of all time, Triple H, but he can make anyone look good, and he can make you get into the story.
But Taker, I mean, like I say, I agree. You know, you said this, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that Taker really hasn't been in the best form of his, shape in the last few matches. We all agree to that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Wyatt's. I enjoy Wyatt in the ring.
Yeah, but
So
just-
I
think
enjoy
he-
it,
I
but
think
I
I
don't
think he
like
could do well
him.
with Taker.
But think back to last year's WrestleMania. I mean,
Well, that would okay. Let's
no.
compare Bray Wyatt to Brock Lesnar.
but what I'm
who's
saying is
just a
Taker did not
carnivore.
put on even as much as I love
But he also
Lesnar
got
and
hurt
Undertaker.
halfway through the match.
I
though.
love both of them, but
Yeah,
Taker
if
did
that was
not
like
put on a
Not
great
at
match.
WrestleMania, they would have cut that match.
Yeah.
Immediately. Because he got hurt. So I
But
can't judge Undertaker on that.
Even 2 years ago, I didn't care for that one either.
Really, that
Famous Punk.
Yeah,
I just was
that's
reading
what-
the
that's
top 30 greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, and they put that in the top 15. Undertaker Punk.
I know, but that match kind of bored me compared to, and again, maybe I'm spoiled by going back even longer, to Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, which were amazing. Two Triple
I-
H's
yeah, you
against
really can
Undertaker,
compare
which
those
were
matches.
amazing.
I didn't-
And then you go to Punk.
I didn't love the Hell in a Cell one as much as everyone else did. That was a good storyline because it had
No,
Shawn Michaels in it.
the first Triple
First
H
Triple
one
Undertaker
was
match
better,
Was an amazing match.
but they were still great matches compared to the Punk. I think the Punk was slower paced and not as entertaining for me
But
as
I think
past match
I think
7.
the athletic ability of Punk made it interesting. You know,
It did. It made it better than I think
he
Bray
was
Wyatt's
flying
going to
around, smashing through the table, and Bray Wyatt.
That elbow drop is brutal.
I love Bray Wyatt, but I don't think him and the Undertaker will put on a great wrestling match. It'll be a great
be. I agree with you.
Now,
Okay, but let's
the
put this way,
story,
though.
I guess.
Let's say this though.
It's a good story.
It's a great showdown,
But-
it's not.
Think of it this way: we said it last night. WrestleMania is in California this year. What does that affect?
I don't think it's going to affect at all.
Their entrances.
I was thinking about it.
Oh,
and-
it's gonna be more amped up, bigger
Well,
entrances.
no, what I'm saying
No,
is it's going to
no,
be light out.
It's
while
going to
they're
be
entering.
light. It's going to be
It's going to be
daytime.
light out. It's going to be daytime while they're
Oh.
entering. Because it will not be sunset
So do
our
you
time
think-
until about 10:30.
do you think
be
4
they-
hours earlier.
3?
They
yeah.
they
3, whatever.
They
Okay,
bump up-
whatever, Mr. Geography major.
they let Taker close out WrestleMania?
No.
No.
He
I
came out
wouldn't
WrestleMania 9 in the daytime with a bird.
No.
What if he comes out with a buzzard?
He doesn't
With
call
a
it
buzzer? What is a buzzer?
Holy shit! It's
A
Bird.
bird.
bird that eats
Oh.
dead things.
I'm just saying.
We'll give.
They
we'll,
thought
we'll
about
go,
this.
We'll go back onto the Taker Bray Wyatt talk in a little bit. We got to talk AJ Lee Summer Rae.
We do?
Do we have to?
I mean,
Maybe.
this is our.
I'm
thing.
all for more Divas time, but Summer Rae.
Not Summer Rae.
Not Summer Rae. And honestly, AJ's an okay wrestler, but she's not
But
gonna.
she's been out for a while.
Yes, and she doesn't.
So she's a
she
big
doesn't
wrestler.
carry a match. You know, I mean, she's what? She's like 100 pounds, soaking wet, maybe. Get that image in your head.
She.
Mm.
I think she's one of the more entertaining.
She's
Divas.
entertaining, of course, but I'm saying wrestling-wise, I don't think she's like carrying a match. And you put her with Summer Rae, like we're just like last week they had a good Divas match, and they gave them a good amount of time. And this week, like it was so sloppy. It was just
Thoughts on the whole Paige and AJ still playing that whole frenemy shit?
Can we also announce how the Bellas announced that it was going to be a tag team match at WrestleMania?
Oh yeah.
Oh well, WWE announced it.
Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, but I guess they announced.
I
it.
don't know. Did they announce it?
I thought it was gonna be a tag team match. I said
Yeah, you did
I was
say
typing away in my bed in the chat room.
Did they announce it before the Bellas?
Yeah, they announced it before
on
Raw.
WWE.com, They announced it before Raw.
See,
went
I
on
just
air.
didn't see that, but
Because
God.
I knew that they wanted to have these four. These are like the big four right now, most popular ones, and they're not gonna have Brie Bella going against Nikki for the title. I think they just.
But this is WrestleMania.
Listen,
And I honestly don't know if
time out
AJ
right here. You look at NXT, that Fatal 4-Way match with Charlotte, Sasha Banks,
God.
Bailey.
Bailey, and I forgot that other girl's name.
What about it? Becky Lynch.
Becky
Becky
Lynch. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks were
Friends.
like friends. You know, tag team partners, this and that.
But they wanted to be champion. These aren't like
But
the
come
twin
on,
sisters.
like-
She doesn't want to.
Yeah, but you can easily turn that story
Paige
around.
and
That
AJ both want to be champion.
yeah, but you can
You
easily
could
turn.
pull the same exact thing
Yeah.
as NXT. Like
Well, not
this-
only that, but you
I'm
you
good
can
with
you
it.
can
do
just
a
go.
good girls versus bad
Hold
girls
on.
thing. And
You can also go with the whole Brie screws over Nikki finally after all that servitude crap. She was biding her
We're
time. All of a
wrestling-
sudden, it's a
Yeah.
four-way, and it's like, oh,
Now I'm
bam!
interested.
I'm the
But-
tag team.
Look up
What?
the last time we had a one-on-one Divas feud that meant anything for the title at WrestleMania. Look that up. Because I would say it has been a long time.
But once again, I'll
No,
say
but
it's
I'm not saying one-on-one.
WrestleMania, though.
It's WrestleMania. You have them in the fatal four-way, and all of a sudden, Brie screws
should
over
not
Nikki.
be tag team.
Now you have a great
They don't like
match.
putting women in those multi-matches. They never do that. They never do that. NXT, maybe. WWE never does that.
I'm just saying you could work with it and make it work.
Yes, you could, but I'm saying
They're
this
too
is
lazy not
This
to.
is what I thought was going to happen. Because they
You're right.
want it.
Yeah, you did
And
say that.
I like AJ, but I don't like that she comes back and they're just like, they want to put the big name top divas in a match. And it's just like, it seems a little forced, like her and Paige, like, what is this?
Well, no, I think you have to put the top divas in for WrestleMania because would you rather I'd rather see them four go at it than Summer Rae or Eve.
I know, but I just don't understand that. Like AJ just feels so thrown in. Like it's just like, oh, let's get the top name on it. That was the only point. Like,
I just
it
think-
seemed
I
like
just
she
think
thought
it's
it was
a
storyline.
you knew they were holding her for something. She was there. She's
Yeah.
been there for.
But for what? A tag team feud? Like
Yeah, come on now.
I'm not.
I
It's just
expected this,
stupid.
but
Just
you're not gonna be able
mind-boggling.
to find it.
It's a month.
Yeah, give up looking.
Give up. Let's
Come on,
continue.
guys.
The point is, I don't remember. They don't like
I think
doing
it was
it. They
Beth
like
Phoenix versus somebody.
They like putting the divas with a celebrity or a mixed tag or a tag or a battle royal invitational, whatever the hell.
Which I would even take over a tag team match.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be a pre.
This
That
is a
should
Monday
be,
Night
match.
Raw.
Like the
This is a
Bellas.
Monday Night Raw match.
that should be a pre-show match.
Yes,
I
but
would agree to that.
but that's not how
Right.
they're gonna do
No.
it because they want the divas to have a match on the
Yeah,
card.
but this
which
is going
I
to kill WrestleMania. It's
I
the-
don't think so. I think
It
it'll be
really-
okay.
I-
It'll just be like it's not gonna be more than 10 minutes.
we
with
already got
entrances.
matches that we all agree are going to have horrible wrestling, and
Good, so they don't have to go long, so we'll have extra time.
This just drives my point home with the WWE just wants every wrestler to have a match. like, oh, we can't, like, I just lost my
Well,
train of
not
thought.
as much this year because,
Whatever.
I mean, what about all the other teams? What are they doing? You know? Last year they were all involved, so
That's
they did
true.
something.
Well, nothing
What about the
anymore.
rumors that were going to be AJ versus Steph a while back?
But they've been talking about that for years, and
It
never
hasn't
happened.
And stuff wasn't that bad in that match against Brie, but it was against.
Yeah, I don't know, though. If we keep seeing her, it may be a little different. I think it was more also
I think
like
it was
a
cool that she.
nostalgia
I think it
kind
was
of
cool
thing,
that
Yeah,
seeing
she
she
hasn't done it in 10 years, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden she, you know,
which is cool. I think that was.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, I'd rather
nice
it
to
wasn't
see.
versus Brie Bella, really.
well,
I didn't like the whole storyline, like just mooching off the husband's success.
Curtis Axel versus Rusev.
you mean Axelmania?
Sure.
Are they
I love
are
Rusev
they making
getting
those
so
shirts or?
pissed.
it's
No,
just-
I think
it's
it's
just
coming
fake?
out.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, Dan, I couldn't hear you over them. What's up?
Oh, don't even start interrupting.
We,
I love Rusev getting so mad at Axel coming out. Like, you would think Rusev would be like, "Fuck this guy," not even let himself get mad. But he's like flipping his shit that Axel's saying he's gonna beat his
Rusev
ass.
has been one of the greatest heels in.
A long time.
I'm telling you,
Very
after
well.
WrestleMania, I'm pushing Rusev for their title match.
I would hope so. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind that.
Rusev versus Reigns.
absolutely.
Wouldn't
That would
mind
be
that
a
one bit.
great match.
But you know he's dropping that title to John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I would agree. Yes, that's probably gonna happen.
Well, like I said to you in the car, 9 out of 10 WrestleManias, the face wins. You're going to see Cena win that. And hopefully they are smart enough to make Rusev go at least into the title picture. Not necessarily win it, guaranteed,
maybe
but at least...
maybe another couple months though.
Yeah.
They might wait till those the July, August ones. They usually
Yeah.
are like fishing for a contender. Like
Yeah.
last time we got like a fatal 4-way, I think, at Battleground. What was
Yeah.
that?
Technically Rusev has never lost. Maybe have him lose a few matches and then go on a tear.
Who do you think he loses to after Cena?
Roman Reigns. Or
That's
whoever
his
the
next. That's
champion
his
is.
next loss.
Whoever the champion is at the time.
Oh, you think they're going to go right for the title?
Well, I mean,
I think they're going to wait a little bit longer to give him the title.
maybe they
push.
put him on a little losing streak.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But it's not
going
going to be to anyone like
It's-
fucking like
Is he
Adam
go-
Rose.
Is he going through
No,
the John Cena burial phase
no.
after?
No.
No,
When he,
no.
not at
he
all.
fights Cena again and loses?
I feel like Rusev is too big of a heel right now to be going through the John Cena burial.
Well, no, they
Yeah.
might make him lose again to Cena once
I
as like a
don't-
title rematch.
I don't mind him losing a match. I don't feel like him being built is on this undefeated like I felt with Goldberg, with Ryback. I don't feel that with Rusev, even though he has that undefeated, even though
I
he lost
agree.
in countouts, but they don't mention that.
Yeah.
Well, they
I
do. They
feel
said
like
that they actually.
He never lost by pinfall or
Sometimes
submission.
they say undefeated, though, they call him.
Well, they do. They say he's undefeated. He's never lost by pinfall or
But they should
submission.
mention that every time. 'cause when
Shut
they
the
say
front door
undefeated-
says he'll lose to Jack Swagger after
No.
losing to Cena.
Oh
No.
my god.
I'll stop watching.
If that happened, that would kill his credibility. If that
But
happened.
I think it's fine if Rusev loses to Cena. I think at this point, I just don't understand why you're putting the U.S. title on Cena. I'd rather it was
They
a
wanna make
non-title
it
match
more-
and Cena wins.
They want to make it more
They want
relevant.
more
I agree
relevant.
with you.
They want to bring back the
Same with the
spinner.
Intercontinental title. Look what they're doing with the
They
Intercontinental.
Daniel
need to get rid
Bryan's
of
in
the
there.
U.S. title.
I
It's
agree.
been a prop for how long? Dean Ambrose didn't defend it for a year when he was champion, nearly. Rusev is, I mean,
Well, Rusev to defend it, he has pretty much almost every pay per view defended the title,
he has, but
with the exception
you
of
think-
Survivor
you
Series.
think
I
at
think.
any point there was like good
Yeah.
competitive competition, or was it just, you felt like it was a guy just getting fed
Well,
to Rusev?
I mean,
No, they were playing on the whole USA thing.
Yeah, they had the good match.
Yeah,
Him
but
and
it's a
Swagger
prop.
been on
That's what I'm
great
saying.
matches.
It's like I'm holding the U.S. title. It's not because they want him to be that champion. It's because he's holding the United States belt and he's so anti-American.
Yes.
That's the only reason why.
It was a
Otherwise,
story
he never
ploy.
would have won the U.S. title. you know?
That was a story ploy 100% because they probably would have just put him right to the Intercontinental or something. But that wouldn't have been as big because he is from Russia, so he would have been like, "Oh, I'm the Intercontinental
But
champion."
now we're going to get into a choice after WrestleMania. You're looking at the next top heel to go for the belt. Rusev,
Yeah,
Bray Wyatt.
no,
Where
neither,
would you go?
Neither or.
I don't think Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
You
you have.
don't think Bray Wyatt
No.
should go for the belt?
Well, you
No.
have to go with this Rollins at this point. You've been building Rollins up for how long as the top heel in the
Rollins
company?
has the money in the bank, though. That doesn't mean that he's in next line for the feud. That means
No, but-
he's going to be there trying to interrupt
No,
the feud.
no, what
I
I-
don't think he's going to get his own pay-per-view matches.
What
with
I
the Money
what
in the
I
Bank
mean
briefcase.
by that is you've been building him as the top heel since he turned on the Shield. You've been building him up as the biggest heel in the company. You're going to have to push him for a title run as a heel. Not as a face.
I'm not convinced he's going to win the title.
You think they're going to take that away? You think they're going to like make him into the Cena?
I don't see how you don't make him win the title.
It's
Dick
only so
pics.
far 2 people. It's
Dick
only...
Picks.
Come on, if they're still using that in 2-3 months, then they're fucking stupid.
It's only... The
What
only
did Triple
two-
H say on that Stone Cold podcast? I mean, when you Google China, what's the first thing that comes up?
Yep.
When you Google Seth Rollins, your new WWE champion, what's the
And I
one of the
must
first thing
say,
that comes up?
I saw a China video last night that.
Oh my god.
Gasser?
No, she was calling out Triple H.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
oh.
She's like,
And
In bed?
holy shit,
Was
is
she in bed
cocaine
club?
one hell of a drug.
I know.
Holy
I
crap.
don't know, but
Your eyes all googly.
Holy shit, she was.
yeah, she was fucked.
Woo!
She was fucked
That's
and
what
not like
Florence
supporting.
Woo!
Yeah.
Drug! Woo!
I,
God.
back to Rusev Cena. Thoughts of Cena.
What?
How did we get to China?
Cocaine.
We went to Cena, cocaine,
China.
back
China.
to
Oh, we were
China.
talking about Triple H, the whole China thing, why Seth Rollins is never going to
Yeah.
win a title.
Well, no, I don't
Not
think
ever.
he's never going to win a title. I just,
It's not this year.
Come on.
I don't know.
Thoughts of Cena making Rusev pass out twice?
I liked it. I really did. I'm glad they
Oh.
finally showed the aggressive side coming back out of Cena.
I didn't
And
like
the
this
fans
at all.
got behind him.
I didn't like
What do you
this
want
at all.
Cena to do?
I didn't mind it.
You want him just to
didn't
yell
like
at
the face he
Rusev
made
on top
after.
of the stage every
Give him
time?
an AA through a table. Don't have him sit there trying to choke the guy out, bending himself backwards. Like, that is not John Cena. That's
But look
too
how the
much.
fans got behind him though, and showed the old school
They
Cena.
didn't need to do that to get the fans behind him. The fans have been behind him because they're doing the USA
USA
thing.
versus Rusev.
Yes.
But now even I even
Rusev
noticed
has
all
been
the
so
adult fans are
good
doing it
that
though.
anyone's against him right now. He's not getting cheered.
I don't know.
Everyone is always
Rusev still
against
got a nice little pop when he came out. Rusev still got that pop.
Yeah, well, I mean, he'll get a pop because people like him, like his wrestling.
Of course, but
obviously,
every week, every
gets
single
heat.
week, Cena comes out and he gets booed. For once, the first time in a really long time I heard Cena chants. Like, not like,
Okay.
yeah, like, Cena.
You think that's going to
Cena.
continue if he's not with Rusev, though? It's
No.
a
No,
product
I
of
don't
Rusev.
think
it's not,
so, but I think
It's
he'll
not a
get
product of Cena's attitude. I don't think.
support.
I don't think Cena being that aggressive got him more cheers.
He'll
I
get,
think him going
he'll get
against
the
Rusev
support in
got
the
him
match, though,
cheers.
which is
I think if they're going to play that card, they're going to have to keep going with him being more and more aggressive.
That was just too much, though.
But put this way, he's been chirping at Rusev the last 2-3 weeks to give him a match. Rusev comes out every single time and says no. If he just puts an AA
It was
through a
only
table,
week, I think. It was only
No,
a
it's
This is
been
the
at
same
least a
bitch
week or
that
two.
brought the
No,
authority back
last week was the first
because
week
he was
of
afraid Edge was going to get stomped in the head. All right. So
But you really
they've
think
been
it's just-
booking him like
a baby.
they've been booking him like
Scared.
I don't want anyone to get hurt, and now he's ruthless, going to knock a guy out twice. It doesn't.
Well, I don't think it's that they wanted to book him as I don't want anyone to get hurt. I think it was going for the respect of Edge as like, oh, he's a former champion.
But Cena's always like that, though. The match to get their jobs back, like he's like, oh, I'll put my title shot on the line. You know what I mean? Like he's
but now he's not in that scenario though. He just
I know
he
it's a
wants
different
rematch.
scenario, but it's not his character
He's
to
on the
be-
USA side now, so like he's got to show something.
so
Which
what,
I don't like.
Which
I
he
didn't
forewarned
like that.
Rusev saying,
Why is he-
don't you dare say anything about
Which-
this.
Why is he
I didn't
stooping
like-
to Rusev's level though? Knocking him out twice and like not letting go and staying there. And first of all, where were the refs to break up Cena?
They were there, they just weren't breaking them up.
Where was no? But in the beginning, there was no refs coming out. That's just stupid.
See,
like
my
Rusev in the
thing-
face.
No,
you're not
my
gonna have
question
refs
is,
come out?
why are they turning this into the USA thing? It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were all talking about it was a relief that Cena was going to be the first guy that we're
They
not
had
going.
no other
USA.
options.
Yeah, really
They're
did.
running out of options.
It's-
What I'm saying is though, like
you
you
could've
just
pushed
want
it.
Cena to come out and just do like a finisher and be like, okay, you got your match. Like they're going back to the
No.
old school days of
You
him
just-
being like, let me beat the shit out of you. Oh, you're not gonna give me a match? I'm gonna still beat the shit out
But
of
he
you.
didn't beat the shit out of him. He just fucking
choked
put
him
him
the
in
fuck
submission
out
mode.
though.
Like,
But that's-
he knocked him the fuck.
I'd
Do you
rather
remember-
him come out
Do
and
you remember a face doing that though in
I-
history? Like completely destroying a guy
No.
and making him pass out twice to get a match? That's not a
But
face thing
Cena's
to
done
do.
this before though.
It's not. The way it was booked from the beginning was stupid. That he didn't accept the rematch.
We've seen faces like Stone Cold Steve
I just
Austin,
don't
who
want a
technically
cheesy
was the
way.
anti-face, throw the Rock's belt into the
Why
river
wouldn't-
Yeah, but
and
he-
stuff
Why
like
would
that.
Rusev just say, I made you pass out already? Of course I'll take a rematch at WrestleMania, humiliate you again. Why couldn't they go that direction? Why
I'm
do you
saying
have to
they could
deny
have,
it?
but now they're pulling. Like that's my argument. Why are we pushing this USA thing? It should have been a pride thing. That was what
Yeah, it
we
should
were
have been
all...
like, you got to go through me, which Cena's been doing.
Well,
but all
I
of
mean,
a sudden,
then again,
Exactly.
you got to go
that's
through
what we
me,
said.
the man that runs the place. So
Then again, that's what we said. That was like that was
We were
why
happy.
we were gonna say Ryback versus Rusev. It would all be about the big guy, not
No.
Rusev.
Yeah.
they still
I mean-
would have won him.
It's I don't like the USA being brought into this
That's
anymore.
why I don't want. They need to get the U.S. title off of Rusev, and I think they could just let him go on his own. And you see the problems with Lana now. I think Lana's gone. I think Rusev's going to be alone for a while because apparently she's filming a movie also for WWE, so she's going to be off TV a long time.
Didn't know that.
No, I did
Yeah,
not
she
know that.
is.
Okay, so now,
Good for her.
give me this. Give me a scenario of
So
how
maybe
Cena gets
WrestleMania
his
is the last
match.
time we see her, or maybe this was the last time we see her for a bit at least.
So give me this. Give me your scenario of how Cena gets into this match.
Easily.
Without last time happening.
Easily.
What's your way of Cena getting into this match?
John Cena the next night, he requests a rematch, and Rusev just says that I humiliated you in front of everyone on pay-per-view, and I'm going to do it again on the biggest, grandest stage
Okay,
of
so
all,
this is
WrestleMania.
right after Fastlane.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have worked
Okay.
perfectly.
I agree.
Okay, so he says no. He said you just said he's like I humiliated you on
John Cena
Fastlane,
tried saying, "I enter myself in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal."
which didn't work. So now where are you going with that?
I'm saying they cornered themselves, so they had to do it.
No,
this way.
but Dan is
that
saying
was-
he
I
should
don't
have.
care with WWE. I want
No,
your
Dan-
scenario
Dan
of
basically
what you
said it.
want.
He didn't
It should have
have
been the
to
next
make
day.
him pass out twice, no matter what. That was
No.
not
What Dan
that
was saying for his scenario was that the night after WrestleMania, screw what happened, forget what happened. He said, Fastlane, sorry. What Dan's argument was, the night after Fastlane, Rusev comes out, Cena comes out and says, I want a rematch, blah, blah, blah. Rusev comes out and just says, okay, I humiliated you, I made you pass out.
That's stupid. They've done that
No, it's-
so many fucking times.
I
Either
know.
that or he just gets entered because he
This
has a
was
rematch
stupid
clause.
because you knew Cena and Rusev were going to fight. Why drag this out? I don't want a match with him. You know they're going to fight.
You-
That's stupid,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I think it would have worked out better in Dan's way
Yes.
on this one, honestly.
I'm just so sick of these guys having a rematch clause and just getting entered into a match or just
There is
"You
no
wanna
rematch
fight me?
clause.
No,
There
yeah.
was
Fine,
no
I'll
rematch
humiliate
clause.
you. That's fucking
It's
boring.
only a rematch
So
clause
boring.
You're the
if
champion.
John Cena was to win. That's the only rematch clause. It was just John Cena wanting to fight Rusev.
But-
And it would have made more
First
sense
time-
because for the first time ever, we see, well, not the first time ever, but one of the few times in a match we see Cena pass out. I
what
mean,
I'm
that's
saying
just
is-
like, that's humiliation.
But-
Cena does not give up. He does not
Okay,
quit.
but for the
and all of a sudden, he's knocked
First
out.
time, for the first time in a while, like I said before, forget the whole USA chat. And you're doing the USA chat fine. But for the first time, people who are chanting Cena sucks every single week were actually cheering for Cena for once. When's the last time you saw a Cena chant from the adult guys or the males, whatever? Every weekend, week out was Cena sucks. Cena sucks. For the first time, they're actually chanting Cena because he's an aggressive. He's going back to the old
I don't
ruthless
think so.
aggression.
It's because of USA.
Come on now, you didn't say that right now?
No, I'm agreeing with
Come
him. I
on.
honestly think it's
Because
the
he made
only.
Rusev pass out, they're cheering him. That's not how he's getting cheered.
I honestly think it was only for that Raw. I don't.
No.
I honestly think that John Cena is not going to be this ruthless.
No, I'm not saying he's gonna be ruthless every single week or from now on.
But why would you show him one night
what?
being ruthless
That did not get
just to
him
get his way?
the fans.
No, he wants to win that championship. You be ruthless as fuck to win that championship.
The week before, he's
Don't
getting
do it
as many
just one
cheers.
night to get your way. No
All
way
right,
in
so
hell.
when's the last time? All right, so tell me the last time Cena got put into a championship match and how he did it. Oh, I'm in it. I want to fight you.
No.
Okay, you're in.
It was wrong.
When's the last time?
He beat Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell for the rights to be
Okay,
the Royal Rumble.
that was a match.
Royal Rumble.
I'm not counting matches. I want like an actual scenario where he
Night of
comes
Champions, he had a rematch clause versus Brock Lesnar. He got his ass handed to him,
Don't-
but he still had
out.
another
You're not
match.
hearing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is where
Where he just demands his way.
where he demands the way. Where he's like, listen, I don't care if you say no. I'm gonna get my way. I'm gonna get in this match. Tell me the last time he did that. I don't
he has
remember.
done that. John
When?
Cena has
When?
done that a
When?
long time
How-
ago, but now
Exactly,
with the authority
a long
power,
time ago.
You can't do that with the authority
A
power.
long time ago. We haven't seen this side from Cena in a really long time. Hence, the guys are chanting.
Yeah.
The adults are saying Cena.
They played up
Cena.
this side after the Lesnar match that he was tough and he was
But
going to be
also
ruthless.
remember, they are in a wrestling state.
I don't see him getting the
In
cheers no
Pennsylvania.
matter what he does next week.
No, he's going to get cheers because he's going with the
Mhm.
USA. He gets USA chants.
No,
every
I'm saying
week.
not. No, I'm saying for the aggression. I'm not saying.
No.
No, he's not going to be aggressive at all for the rest of the time being. This was the
Because
only
how
way
is
they
that
could-
representing America? Like, you want to be like American, proud of America, and you have a guy just like
Bullying
destroying a
and
guy.
yeah.
You
I'm
could have
just
just knocked him
happy-
out. You could have just
No.
gone through a table. You didn't
No,
have to
That's
no.
stay
the
on
American way.
You keep a hold on a guy that's passed out.
Coming from
How
an
is that a
anti.
face thing? How is that face
Because
thing
he
to do?
wouldn't
You keep
release-
a hold on a guy that's already passed out. He could have got up. He was already passed out and he held it.
Oh,
he kept
and then he
holding
let go and
He let
splashed
go.
water on him.
Flash
and did
water,
it
did
again.
and he's still held it even after he's passed
I
out.
don't give a shit. I enjoyed it. It's something different from
We're
what.
not saying it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it was something different. I just don't think it's the right way to go about
No.
it.
It's
not.
kind of
Because that's bringing everyone's expectations up for this match, and it's not going to meet those
no,
expectations.
not
At all.
Not at all.
I think it's what I was saying before.
Did you enjoy
about,
the match of Fastlane?
I did, but no one else
I
did.
didn't like it that much.
I didn't like it.
None of you did. I was the only one who actually said it was a good match.
I think this was another case of them pulling out a lot of stops tonight and going the aggressive way, trying to bring a little bit of Attitude Era in and throwing this in. You know what I mean? I don't think this was something that would be planned for Cena's character normally. I think this was, they wanted to go with a lot of aggression tonight. And I think at some point the faces took a little too far, which we'll get to a Randy Orton.
I enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, but Randy Orton's not your typical faces we'll get to.
He's a tweener.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Big E
matter.
and Xavier Woods versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro.
I hate the New Day.
I've hated him since day one.
I hated
so.
this whole 45 minutes where there's 3 matches. You might as well announce them all together, since it just seemed like one mishmash of shit
Stupid.
that was just basically promoting Total Divas or a match on the pre-show. And it was too long. You couldn't have had... It went till 11:20 Raw. Like, you could have made Raw a little shorter. You could have had Brock Lesnar do something to somebody.
The New Day, I just hate only because what is the technical tag team in the New Day? I don't like the
Well, I
fact that
mean,
it
now
switches.
it's obvious it's Big E and Xavier Woods.
Why is that? Just WrestleMania.
They just beat Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, the tag team champions, which makes them number one.
Yeah, just
contenders.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
that's
didn't-
not permanent, I
yeah.
don't think.
Yeah,
I think
no.
It's just for this run
So
to
then-
WrestleMania.
Kofi Kingston.
What makes you? Yeah, exactly. What makes you
Fucking
think that
stupid.
Xavier Woods is more deserving of a WrestleMania match than Kofi Kingston?
Coffee?
Or
Coffee.
Kofi Kingston.
Coffee?
sorry. I call
That's
him
what Brendan called him.
Coffee.
No, I don't think he has any resume
None.
for that. No, not at all.
I
Joke. Xavier
agree.
Wood. No, listen. The fact that Kofi Kingston has been in WrestleMania matches, has been in title matches, has been in this type of matches. I mean, what has Xavier Woods done the last few years? Jack shit. So the fact that he's all right. So put it this way: if New Day was in a tag team match
What
at
about Diego
WrestleMania,
and Fernando? What have they done?
Who?
That's true. That's
Who?
right.
nothing. That's
Who are they?
It's just a joke.
Oh wait,
Oh, Team the Matadors.
They
Okay.
came out because one of the guys finally healed from injury, so it's like, oh, let's bring him back.
This whole thing?
I guess so.
you know, Kofi is going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle.
Mhm.
And he's going to do his normal, I got eliminated, but I
Because
didn't
he
get
didn't. He
eliminated.
really didn't. Did he do it? Did he do it? Did he do it? The Royal.
He
Yes.
landed
He did the Adam
on
Rose, the bunnies, the
He landed
Oh
on
yeah, that's right. That's
The
right.
bunnies when he got back here.
party people.
Exotic
or
Express.
Fuck them. Other people, they fucking train wreck.
Well, we haven't seen TV in a while. So
The next
Plus
few
another thing
segments,
is that-
I
could
really
we
don't have much
also-
to say, so I'm going to go a little quiet.
Yeah. Well.
Can we also discuss who the hell's in this battle royal? I mean, really?
Well.
A lot of no
At
names.
least,
and a
like,
couple
at
big
least
names.
in the
but-
ladder match, they had like five,
For Battle
4 or 5
Royals, they
people
don't
announced
have
every
to
week.
announce every participant. That's never been
Yeah,
the
but
case in WWE.
Adam Rose.
For us, we
They
need to
announced
pick.
more. They announced Sin Cara
Oh, did
today.
For us, we need to
Eric
pick.
Rowan, Miz Dow, Miz.
Ryback, Curtis Axel,
Zack Ryder.
So as of right now, who'd you pick?
It's
Ryback.
probably somebody who has not been announced.
You
Miz
think
Dow.
Sheamus?
No.
I might pick Sheamus.
I'm going Mizdow.
Oh man, missed out too.
I
If
think this
Sheamus
Out
comes
of the
back,
people
and
in it right
Sheamus-
now, Ryback. But I think
yeah.
Sheamus has a chance. Of
I think
coming back.
Mizdow gets
If
his
he's not-
wrestling-
I don't
moment.
think they're going to do that with Sheamus though, because they wasted it last year with Cesaro. He won, and what happened to him in 20?
But it's Sheamus. They love Sheamus.
Yeah.
The company.
I like Sheamus.
They, as in WWE.
Yeah.
I like Sheamus' wrestling. I just don't like the good guy, joking, goofy character.
I like him as a heel as well. That just
He doesn't have
badass.
to be a heel. He could be a good guy, but just not be making stupid jokes the whole time. Play up his Irish.
Well, if he's gonna win the
He's gonna
battle
grab
royal,
the
he's not
pints.
gonna be a heel.
He says that every week.
If
He's
he
gonna
wins,
grab a pint.
if he wins the battle royal, he's not gonna be a heel.
Sure.
I think he will.
What happened to Cesaro?
Yeah.
He won it and joined with Paul Heyman.
Yep.
What if the last person in the battle royal is someone we like a lot? and he boots him in the face off. So he could still win as a
He
heel.
boots Mizdow over. That could happen.
It's very, very possible.
So dang it. You know,
You guys are giving Mizdow a little too much credit.
No, but I kind of the
the
only reason I kind of think that Gasper is right on Mizdow is that I think it might come down to Miz and Mizdow, and all of a sudden Mizdow.
Oh, really?
Hold on,
That's what Shut Front Door just said in the chat.
is it really?
He
Okay,
said
so we're
it's
thinking
going
about.
down the Miz versus Mizdow, and Mizdow wins.
And Mizdow throws Miz over, which now leads to at least one match at what's the next
Extreme Rules.
one? Extreme Rules.
Yeah, but they don't need to do that at the end. I don't think either of them winning like this. I love Mizdow.
Mizdow is a huge fan favorite. I can see them letting him win it.
He got like 10 seconds in the Royal Rumble, and I thought he was going to do something like important.
No, Royal Rumble's
I'm
different.
never going to get fooled again with
No,
that.
Royal Rumble
I
is
agree.
the Royal Rumble is
was
completely
that after
different from
Brian?
this.
Mizdow came out after Daniel. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
way after.
yeah,
So then the
exactly.
crowd was dead by then.
This is completely different from the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble guarantees you a spot at WrestleMania. You know Mizdow was not winning that match. This is
not
something.
winning, but-
This is something you could see him
At
winning.
least he's
because-
sort of eliminate the Miz.
Yeah,
but
really.
last.
Well, that's what they're saying for WrestleMania.
Let's look at it last year. Cesaro won this Andre the Giant Memorial, and what did he do? Never won the tag team title with Jack Swagger. He did nothing, and then all of a sudden now, yes, 2015, he's won it with Tyson Kidd, but he did nothing for almost a full year after winning it. It's not like the Royal Rumble where, okay, you win the Royal Rumble, you're pretty much going to win the title at WrestleMania.
I think WWE just didn't want to do anything with him, and that's what happened with him.
No, I don't
They
see.
just lost favor with him. And
I think this is a gimmick. I think that the whole Andre the Giant thing is just a pure gimmick.
George?
yeah,
Shut
it
up.
is. It's a good way to get a lot of guys that wouldn't be on the show.
Exactly.
And
That's
it's a
all
good
it is.
match, a filler match, to put
It's-
in between a one-on-one storyline match that gets you sucked in. Like, oh, let's have a battle royal, guys punching, kicking.
Yeah,
like, it's
you
exciting.
said it earlier, the gimmick battle royal.
I don't see this being the kind of thing that's going to make or break a guy's career.
No, I don't think it's gonna make a career.
You know, I honestly think it's
But
just
I think if
a time filler. Oh, look, this is on 10.
Cesaro was pretty hot when he won last
Yes, he
year.
was, and I
So-
thought they were going to
Not
push
pretty.
it.
He was very.
Yeah, he
But-
was
yeah.
very.
but
So
here's-
I'm
but
not
here's the
gonna
thing.
say they're gonna have the winner be a
But here-
nobody.
Relatively important.
But here's the thing. I thought the same thing last year. Oh, Cesaro's hot, and then he wins. Oh, they're really going to push this guy. What happened?
Okay, but that's
What
one
happened?
time.
Yeah, it's only been around for 1 year. Last year was the first year.
But they
I
realized
thought-
they didn't want to push Cesaro, so what are you going to do about it? I mean,
If
that
it's a
doesn't mean
man
they're
said
advanced.
himself that he lacks charisma and he can't talk on the mic, this and that, Damian Sandow can. And he,
Yeah, but no,
and
he's too much
you've
of a
seen
goof
it,
at this
though.
I don't know if that's on your rundown to talk about his backstage segment or not.
Oh, we were talking about it. We might as well bring it up.
That
was
was
it
amazing.
Wizdow?
Wizdow, baby.
He was amazing.
That was probably the best part of
I'm
Raw.
telling you, he's amazing in everything. I would pay him. Pay the man. Like, that would be one of the first guys I would take. If I had to pick 5 guys in WWE, no matter what, I'm taking
To
Mizdow.
start my own federation, he would be number one. No,
He
not
could
even
be-
number one. Maybe top
Maybe not
five.
number one.
Top
Top
five.
five. Because you knew any crazy gimmick, if I want to make him the Pringles man, they'll make it work.
Start with the plugs.
There's no plugs.
By the way, tonight's episode of Under the Ring is sponsored by Pringles because we have 3 great flavors of Pringles.
Which
The
you can get on
original,
sale at CVS.
Original.
4 for $6.
Cheddar cheese, sour cream and onion.
and we're also sponsored by Bud Light, the light king of beers.
Superior
Smooth and
drinkability.
refreshing.
Glug, glug, glug.
Like that far.
In your ass.
But yeah, Mizdow can do anything. Even
he-
rap.
Yeah.
Even rap.
He dropped the fucking.
He killed it. And I didn't.
I'm not saying.
I don't know, we
Hold
can't
on,
say
drop
it
the
nowadays.
mic.
I don't know,
Honestly,
drop
drop
a
the mic,
drop a
drop the
couple,
beat.
drop a couple
And I
bars.
normally hate
Bars?
celebrities
Yeah,
things,
bars.
and I'm not a fan, but I did not mind this.
Wiz Khalifa, listen,
You know he likes wrestling. He talked okay. He wasn't like completely like just trying to listen to somebody that couldn't speak any English.
his backstage segments. I minded the 15
Yeah, too
minute
much.
concert that he put on.
That's not his fault. That's
I'm
not his
not
fault.
bad mouthing Mizdow's wrestling skill on the mic or anything else.
That's
I'm
making me
saying
nervous.
right now he's just
You don't
not. I
understand
don't
me.
think ready for anything huge.
Told you.
What?
I knocked that.
He knocked out the charger.
Ah, piss.
tight.
So wait,
Too tight.
Mizdow's not ready for anything huge, you know, like winning the
Well, I mean,
Andre
'cause
the Giant Battle Royal, right?
Well, that I could. No, I'm saying I could see him winning that, but not like a Royal Rumble type thing.
No, obviously not. But
You know, like I said, I could see it coming down to Miz and Mizdow winning and then setting up for a Night of Champions match.
yeah, but don't forget Santino was in the final 2 of the Rumble in 2011,
And he was like in the Elimination Chamber.
and he almost won.
And he
was
almost
that
won.
final 2.
He was the final two of the Elimination Chamber.
All right.
Come on.
All right.
Naomi versus Natalia.
10
Whatever.
seconds of match.
Listen, Natalia's one of the best female workers.
And she's getting shitted on every
I don't
single
like her
week.
though.
You don't like her
I'm
because of
not a
what?
fan.
Because why?
I just never got into her style. Like, yeah, she can do some moves, but like, I don't know, I'm just not into it. Like, I preferred like Beth Phoenix. She was strong, and I
Well,
feel like
I
she
mean,
doesn't
we
do
can
any
really-
like.
I mean, there's really, like you said, we say week in, week out, there's really not that many divas on the card that actually can wrestle. I mean, you got Paige, AJ, Natalia.
So why have 2
Naomi,
segments of
that's it.
Divas matches? Just have one long segment that goes to commercial and has a nice long match.
No. Because they were rushing it because
Well,
they
I
had
mean,
to
no,
take
if it's
more
not one
time
thing,
on
it's the other
Orton.
thing. It's going to be like, okay, you're not giving Divas enough chances with multi-matches in between the card of Raw. And now you're just giving 2 Divas a long match, and then
People
nothing
just got
else
mad
for
there
the
was a
rest.
10-second match on Raw right after they've been watching amazing matches on NXT, and they're sick of it.
Oh,
That's the
I
only
mean-
reason why I got so much. And I
I'm
think
all
Paige
for
is
Divas
part of the
wrestling.
reason. I think Paige has a lot of fans right now. A
Absolutely.
lot of people.
AJ Lee has a lot of fans.
That too.
Even
But Paige's
even the
fans
Bellas.
are built more on wrestling.
I agree.
Paige, people like watching her wrestle. I don't think she's like the best women's wrestler we've ever seen, but people just like watching her wrestle, and I think people understand that. Like, she's always loved wrestling, and
She
she's been
might
in the
be
business
one
since
of
she's a kid.
she might be one of the best wrestlers we've seen since
Yeah,
the
no
Trish
while.
Stratus Lita era.
Yeah. I think that they see how much like passion she has for it, and when they see someone like that, they want them more time for them. They want them to get more of a chance, also. But I don't know. I don't like this Natalia Naomi. I just think of the TV show
It's
the whole
pointless.
time,
It's
and
pointless.
it's all about the TV show. I feel like it's just TV show feud.
I just I don't know. I enjoy the Divas division
I do sometimes.
when they
but
put on when they have more than less than 4 minutes to put on.
I don't
a
like
match.
Naomi and Natalia coming out
With
their husband.
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
husband's tag team.
I don't like
I don't
that
like
either.
that.
But like you said, it's Total Divas, which is now over.
That's why I can't take her
Like,
seriously.
Not over, but
Yeah,
Season
it'll be
season
back in the
ended.
summer. or
I
whatever.
wish it was over. Because then that way it would be like, no more tie-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
We've been saying it a
maybe
million
they would
times.
actually watch the match for once.
Yeah.
No more Vinny thinking Tyson Kidd's a terrible guy.
Years.
And then it changed into another match.
Into another
Which
tag
was
match.
this was such a bad like
Wheel of Fortune.
amount of time.
matches.
Now-
The 10 o'clock hour. This was.
Why? I don't even think it was 10 o'clock. I think it was like 10:30.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
It
it,
was
kept
like-
going in the hour. 10 o'clock,
What
it was
good-
Like 35, 40
Like,
minutes.
it's, I guess, okay to see the Los Matadors get a win, but do you guys think this hurts the Usos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they've been, pretty
I don't
much
think
the
it
only
was
number
on
one
a
contender,
roll-up,
and now they
like
lose.
a sneaky loss. I mean, I don't think that's a
Well,
big.
the fact that they've been pretty much the only number one
He did
contender.
pull the tights.
You have these guys
Doesn't
come
matter,
back
though.
and get a sneaky roll up. I think it's just to make them. A little
And they're not the
more
number one
relevant. I don't
contenders
think it hurts
anymore.
the
Because
Not
the
enough.
New Day versus the New Day beat Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, so
That
they are
pisses me the fuck
solely
off.
the number one contender. Listen,
I mean, I understand.
Three-man
I don't
team,
wanna
and
bring
you're
up-
number one contender.
they're not
for
a three-man
kid.
team. They're
They are,
obviously now a
though.
two-man team.
No.
It's now obviously Xavier Woods and Big E.
But the next week we might see.
No, you're not, because that is set in stone right there.
I don't want
They
to
are the
bring
number
up
one
a
contenders.
touchy
Then fucking
subject,
put
but
Kofi back in his own again. I mean, really, the tag team. I know you said the last few weeks has been the same two men in the ring, but the fact that there's three guys and two of the three are wearing the belts, it's fucking stupid.
Okay, the Shield.
Dumb.
yeah, they
But the other one had a belt. Dean Ambrose had the U.S. Championship.
Okay,
didn't
so
have to have that.
he didn't have to.
Yeah, but Roman Reigns-
Actually, no. It was a prop
And
because he didn't defend the goddamn thing for the
Yeah, but
entire
Roman-
And to
year.
compare the New Day to the Shield is a little rough.
But I'm saying it's the same thing.
No,
But
because
they're not going to win, so I don't even know where this
Yeah,
argument's
no,
going.
they're not going to win. But I'm just saying,
They
like,
need to fill up the match.
your whole point of them being relevant in that area is just obsolete because they need to fill this card.
Yeah, but
You're not going to have 2 tag team
I
matches.
understand
You'd rather have
they-
a fatal 4-way tag team
I
match
understand
than-
they botched a certain team's name called the Ascension, and we haven't seen them, and they're realizing that
Thank
they're
God.
going to do something.
They're
with
going
them,
back down.
something.
Thank God.
But they fucked it up.
They did
I don't
fuck
blame
it
the
up.
guys. I don't blame
No,
them.
it's not their fault. It's
Victor and
writers.
Do you think anybody, those lines they were fed, do you think anybody
No,
could
of
have
course
made
they
that?
were.
It's just like what happened with Reigns when he was saying that stupid shit. Everyone fucking hated
Yeah,
it.
but I think the Ascension at least can act it better than Roman Reigns could. It's just the fact that they were given crap to work with.
Yeah.
They put on good
But
matches.
why don't we see them at WrestleMania instead of Los Matadors, which we haven't seen on TV?
I
You
said
know
it
what
to
I mean?
Vinny. I would have loved to see Ascension. I still love the Ascension. I want to see them in it.
Because now
Just-
we're going
you
to
know
have,
what, though?
3 face teams going after the heel team?
That's what I said
Yeah.
last night. I said, how is this going to work now?
It's not.
3 faces versus
And what
one-
happened to the
one heel.
primetime players? We saw them for a week,
They,
and then
they broke
they're
up
gone.
again. You didn't hear?
No, I didn't hear.
No, I'm joking.
I know.
I'd rather see them in the title match than New
Yeah.
Day.
Any thoughts of
I also hate Los Matadores.
Yes.
It's completely a gimmick team.
I don't
that
hate
shouldn't
them.
be there. No hate.
We
I
said,
don't like
it
any of
last
these tag
night.
teams, I
They're
just-
decent wrestlers. They're just in a
Wrong
shitty gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you come out with a little bowl. I mean, what are
Yeah,
you going to do?
thank you.
What are you
Thoughts
gonna
on Natalia walking away with Tyson Kidd's?
I'm the tag team champions.
do? Awesome.
That's the first thing I thought.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm glad
Gotta
you
be
finally
nice.
like put a
They
foot
just have
down.
to tease her and him getting mad at each other every week. Why? Because, well, it actually happens on the show, so, that's probably why.
Bray Wyatt calls out the dead man.
Finally,
Yet again.
something worth talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of
Listen,
bullshit.
he had 2 promos throughout
Like,
the
that
night
was,
before
wasn't,
this.
that, wasn't that before
No, it was
all the
after.
matches?
But, yeah, well, that was
It was after.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Little bit of
yeah,
both.
You're right.
But I was
He had
okay
2
with
promos
those,
throughout the night.
which I was okay with.
And, no, they were great promos, but I just didn't
Simple.
believe that we were going to get anything from Taker
Ah.
whatsoever.
No,
Yeah,
because I thought we
I didn't
were.
either, but I was happy for it.
Because once you bring the urn into play, I really think that something has to come. I mean, I know we've been saying, well,
I guess,
it's
but
2
I
weeks
mean that-
before, 3 weeks before, but once you open that urn, if he opened that urn and there's no sign from Taker, I'd be really, really disappointed.
Yeah.
The urn hasn't been
That was the gateway, though, to
a
the
huge
Undertaker.
part of his character, really, in a long time. Like,
Yes,
I know they
it
brought
was.
it back for the Paul Bearer thing, but that was different. That was like a different kind of thing.
But that's always been over the years, though. I mean, I know, like you said, not recently, maybe just recently
It's
Punk,
not
but
like back in
that's
the day. It
always
used to be
been,
like
though.
if you raise the urn, like the Undertaker stands up and gets powerful. Like it's not that gimmicky anymore. Like
oh,
I don't know. I mean that's cool, but I'm just saying that they didn't have to make it
what
serious.
else are really
with the
gonna
urn.
go with? I mean, he used the coffin. I mean, if you don't use the urn, what are you really gonna use? I mean,
Without having the Undertaker actually
Yeah,
come out.
I'm saying
Exactly.
it's fine. I'm just saying that it wasn't like that was like a whoa. He's using the urn to me at least personally. I wasn't like a
No, that was to me. I had to agree with Vin because we've all been in agreement. We know the Undertaker was going to actually show up. If you use it like Vinny said,
Apparently, he was backstage, from what I read,
yeah, but you weren't going to have him on.
and that was
screen
his
for whatever
voice actually backstage, but they didn't show him on TV. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a rumor or not because that's ridiculous.
I would
Have him
say
fly
yes,
in?
that's a rumor.
reason. That's
That has to
because
be
if
a
he's
rumor.
Why would
actually
you have
there,
him fly into Pennsylvania?
They
Just
wanna
to do a
keep- but they
voiceover.
Also, I've read things they want to keep him mysterious. Like, what does he look like? What's
no,
happening?
because why would you fly him out there? Where you could simply just send a guy there to record his voice saying,
anyways about money.
yeah, but why spend the money when you can just easily fly a tech guy out there to record his voice going, "You will rest in peace."
It's
Yeah.
true.
You know what I mean? And then
I didn't like the way that sounded either.
or you could
It
use.
seemed like it was dubbed. It was just dubbed from another time when he said that.
I was
didn't
going to
like
say, or you could
Why
just
couldn't
take
he
it
just
from
record
there.
it?
It sounded pre-recorded.
You could honestly just take it from
No,
any
but-
one of his other promos and go, WrestleMania, you will rest in peace. And that's it. You don't even need to have a guy
No,
go out
but-
and fly out there. You save
What
money.
you're saying is, I'd rather it was pre-recorded. I'd rather it was in a studio, just his voice talking. I felt like it was him on a microphone. Maybe he wasn't there live backstage, but they took it from another promo he's done in the
Yeah.
past, and they clipped it in. I didn't
No,
like that.
That's what
It
I'm
didn't
saying.
feel-
He
it didn't
wasn't
feel like
there.
it was-
No, the rumor is wrong. He wasn't there.
No, okay,
It was
yeah.
done from somewhere else. But at least we got the response. And like Vinny said, without the urn, you've already used the coffin. You've already done everything else.
Okay.
You've used the Druids.
Yeah, exactly. You forgot about the jersey.
There was nothing else there.
Okay, I'm
Use
just
that.
saying, it's not like the Undertaker's power is all in the urn. It hasn't been that way in a while. That's
In a
old
while,
school.
but it's known for that though.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
known.
and
If
John
you see the
Cena
urn,
was known for thugonomics too. You can't I'm saying it just seemed like a little reaching back. They
But
wanted
what else?
to,
But to Vinny's argument and my own argument at this point, what else do you do to make the Undertaker just accept it besides doing the urn? A simple him going on the microphone, going "You will rest in peace" would have been sufficient. No,
You don't think that whole thing at Fastlane was enough storyline wise to get the Undertaker want to have a match with him? You think that him holding the urn?
No, I'm not saying. We're not saying it was the urn that made him accept it. What we're saying is it was the best segue into getting a good response from. I believe that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It was a good way of getting a segue into the Undertaker responding. Not instead of just, again, it would have been boring if Bray Wyatt's out there. Come out wherever you are, and all of a sudden, gong, gong.
look at the thing.
Wrestlemania will rest in peace. It would have been boring. All of a sudden, you see
Look
he
like-
opens the urn, nothing happens, and then puts it back down, and smoke
And
appears.
then look at the thing with Wyatt. Wyatt was like, it's phased by nothing, and then fucking Ambrose destroyed his rocking chair, and he broke down hysterical. I mean, it's just certain things. They're like, all right,
Yeah,
enough. That's it. You got my attention. I'm gonna say
Thoughts
something.
on Bray Wyatt calling himself the new face of fear?
What do you mean? He has been saying this for a long time.
But I mean, he's been saying it. I feel like it has more meaning now going against the Undertaker.
Of course, now because
Oh,
he's
man.
I don't
saying
think
he's
he'll
taking
ever
over
be,
the Taker's
you know,
spot,
face
but
of fear that the Undertaker was. I mean, that was a scary motherfucker. I'm
who
sure.
else is really
What do you
out
mean
there
was?
scary?
What do you mean was?
I'm sure right now, if I was 5 years old, I wouldn't be that scared of Bray Wyatt. It'd be a little scary, but I was fucking terrified of Undertaker.
I always loved him. For some
But-
reason.
but-
I would
You
not
were
watch.
also-
I would not watch Undertaker. That
You
shit
were
scared the
also
shit out of me when I
how
was a little kid. Yeah, I was like 5, 6 years
Exactly.
old.
Really, I used to
So-
love watching him, even at that age.
But
Well, I was a little
let's put
older
it
when
out there.
he
I
came
mean,
out.
to be honest with you, I think he can claim that spot now. Because in today's roster, who's really terrifying out there? Who cuts promos like Wyatt? Nobody.
I don't. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think he can
Exactly,
claim that.
but Bray Wyatt is a human character. You don't get the face of fear like Undertaker. It's just like the dead man. He was.
I can't seem to find it anywhere online right now.
What?
What did the Titantron say?
Oh,
It said
the man
the
will
man
The
will
man-
come around.
Okay.
will come. It was a Johnny Cash song.
The
I know
man
that.
will come around. That's
He's
what
yeah, but him and Johnny Cash his last
The
two
fucking
WrestleMania.
Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Didn't maybe 3-4 years ago he came out to a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they used it twice. They used it with him and
Him
Triple
and Johnny
H.
Cash, though.
Right, or whatever.
They used it the last one.
No,
with
he
Shawn
came out- he came
Michaels,
out with
and they
it,
used
too.
it for
He
him
came
and
out with
Triple
it
H.
too. Yeah. So,
I
him and
didn't like
Johnny
that on
Cash,
the
man.
Titantron. That was a little weird.
No. I said it. I was like, they're gonna use some type of
And it's
message
like we
they
already
did at
got a
WrestleMania.
I accept from Sting graphic.
Well,
I don't know. I'm
if
just
you
sick of this
do
graphics
you-
accepting.
none of you guys are Johnny Cash fans here.
I am.
I know you are.
I enjoy it. I'm not like I was some
But the
proclaimed fan, but I do
opening to
enjoy
that
them.
song is I heard as it were noise of thunder, one of the 4B saying, "Come and see." And I
Yeah,
saw.
no. If you
and
look at the
behold,
lyrics, it actually
It
describes
is-
Bray Wyatt.
It
No, if you read more lyrics, it talks about Bray
It's-
Wyatt too.
it's
It's like
nuts.
he calls me out or something like that. He calls the name. Yeah, it's pretty
crazy.
cool. It's pretty entertaining.
That's. I mean, I feel like
I
they're
mean,
putting.
yeah, but they're not going to do much in the storyline with the song. You know?
No, of course not. But it's just ironic, ironic how Bray Wyatt is calling him out every single week, and there are lyrics in the song about saying he calls the name or something like that. I mean, I was actually listening to the song before, so pretty cool. I applaud it.
It's,
Yeah, I mean, I like the segment. I like the chair going on fire.
And him
That
just
was
laughing at it
Bray
like
Wyatt
he just
didn't give a
doesn't
shit.
care.
It wasn't even
He
phased.
was just
Nope,
happy
he's
to
just
get
like,
an
okay.
Undertaker response.
That's why
Move
and he's a
on
great actor. That's
To the
that's-
main event: Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
Did we just say Randy Orton versus Rollins in
I
like a
wasn't
street
really into
beatdown?
this at all.
We were all
At
expecting
least
it.
the match
and it
part, I
happened.
was not into any of it.
WWE wasn't expecting them to flip off.
It just
No,
It was just
I'm
funny.
seem like-
No, they panned down pretty
Well,
damn quickly.
Yeah,
No.
but I'm going with Dan.
Planned.
They were going on more edginess
planned.
last night than
You don't have because that was the turn. What was the turn? If the
Yeah.
flip off wasn't him standing there, wasn't the turn. The moment that everyone remembers is the flip off. That was the moment where okay, he's not with him anymore. So that was planned. They would not. They would have to plan that moment. They
Yeah, but
wouldn't let
everyone
me-
started cheering once he slowly walked around the post. So I mean, we all saw it coming, but
Yeah, but
at
what
the same time,
if he didn't do the finger? What would he have done standing there?
he would have
He
hopped
would've
off
just
the
walked
apron.
away?
He would hop off the apron like it happens almost
And
every
then walk
single
away
time.
and be done with the night, or what? Like, because what would signify that he's done with him?
No, I'm saying if
That
he
was
didn't do
planned.
the football, if he didn't do the
It
football,
was after 11 p.m. They were like, "Fuck it, we
No.
want to get people." It gets people
I know-
talking.
I know.
And then they cut the camera away, so they're like, "Oh, well, but we didn't intentionally do it. You know, we only showed it for a second, so they won't get in trouble."
But if he didn't do football, I mean, what he would have done is hop up the apron
And
or
walk
stood
away.
there. Or, no, I think he would have waited for Reigns to get out of the ring and then beat him
Right.
after, which he did regardless. So, I
If
mean,
it-
it's just
in my
the addition
opinion,
to
it was
flipping off.
WWE. The whole night they wanted an edgy bit to everything to get the people back in, because they realized that a lot of people were losing interest in a lot of these feuds.
I agree.
And I feel like that was another thing, because I don't think it would have even shown for as long as it did. Whenever I've seen a middle finger on the show, they've cut it real quick. Like they gave it a second or two, and then it cut, and they put the camera like right below. Obviously, you know what he's doing. Michael Cole's even talking about it, saying an emphatic statement from Randy Orton to Seth Rollins. They didn't have to say that if they didn't want to mention. You know, if they didn't. I think it's just completely planned.
Thoughts on the beatdown
Entertaining.
that ensued?
Yeah,
I don't think they had to go in the crowd. That went a little too long, and it was unnecessary. I think he could have just gave him an RKO through a table, and that would have been enough. End the show with that.
Yeah, but
it
that was
too
just
much.
weeks of build up, though. I mean, it was just weeks of build up of him
But-
wanting to do it.
But
and
just think
finally
about
getting to
this.
it.
He destroyed Seth Rollins. He already got his hands on him completely. Why do I want to see the match
Oh,
now?
get the crowd
just think
into
about
it.
that.
You get your
I know.
crowd into it, though.
Just think about storyline wise. I know for wrestling we want to see the match, but think about storyline wise. Randy Orton just beat the fuck out of Seth Rollins, dragged him through the arena everywhere. What's left? What's left for him to get? A revenge. You know what I mean? Like, I think they took it too far.
Well, like you said,
I think
you
they
wanted-
could have had him get one
they
powerful
wanted edgier.
move, and then have refs come out and separate him, make Randy Orton go to the back, and end that way. They didn't have to let Randy Orton just have his way with him, throw him around like a rag doll, like too much.
RKO him through the table.
And yeah, it was too much.
I like it though.
I enjoyed it.
I like it, but what do you have
It's
left
gonna be
now? What
one
are you
of the
going to do
most-
next week?
It's
How
gonna
would you
be
book
one of
next
the most
week?
interesting feuds.
Yeah, I
But,
think
like,
they should have been the week
like
before.
you're saying, what are you going to do next week?
What are you going to do next week?
They just
Rollins
have to.
got the shit beaten out of him. He's
They
got
just
nothing
have
left.
to go balls to the walls with this feud. The only way to go is up with this feud. You have to go harder, more edgier. Just
Sinister, yeah.
let them beat the
I just
shit
think
out
they
of each
gave
other.
Randy Orton too much on Seth Rollins. It's like, why am
I think that match is going to be an Extreme Rules match, like a hardcore match.
You don't think they're
No.
at WrestleMania?
No, I'm saying it's going to be
Oh,
a
you're
WrestleMania.
saying
It's going to be
it's
like a
gonna be-
hardcore match, no false count
No
anywhere
bars,
match.
They
or
like
no
using
bar.
that
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
They
No
usually
bars.
use no DQ.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Because
about
I
that.
feel like they could put on
I don't
a
know.
hell of a show.
I mean,
They
they already
could.
When
went.
you said
But-
Extreme Rules, I thought you meant they
no,
could
I
hold
meant
up
I
another
meant to
month.
say like
Oh,
hardcore.
they already went around the whole arena. I hope it's not that, because I want to see wrestling.
Yeah.
How many matches?
I
are
don't
gonna
think
have that
they're
has
really
good
gonna do
two
no
good
DQ.
wrestlers in it. You know what I mean?
And two great
It's a-
wrestlers, two amazing guys.
I just didn't like this, and I feel like I understand Randy Orton's never that big of a face, but this was a little too much. This was like Triple H being down Daniel Bryan last year level of beatdown, like just
Yeah,
annihilation.
but he's not really a face, even when he is a face.
The whole crowd was cheering him. It doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
that doesn't mean he's a
He got
face.
his hands on the guy that put him out, so he's
Stone
supposed to
Cold
be the
Steve
face.
Austin was never really a face until the later years of his career.
Yeah, he was an anti-face.
He
He
was,
was kind of like the guy
he
who...
was
You can't compare the crowd and era. Obviously, then
Yeah.
the crowd just wanted Stone Cold to beat everyone's ass, and that's how it was. Now it's not like that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, Randy Orton's not the kind of guy who's going to come out and do cheap plugs.
No.
You know, his
Well,
character-wise.
I wanted him to get Seth Rollins, but to drag him around the arena and like just brutalize him
But that's
for
Randy Orton.
15
That's
minutes.
what Randy Orton is. Randy Orton is the Viper. He's the apex predator. He's not the nice guy who is going to
Yeah, they could
just
have
get
been brutal,
revenge.
but the fact that it's the duration of it, I feel like it.
No, because that is him.
That's a
think
heel
about
thing,
think
though,
about when he was fighting Triple H, when he literally was stalking Stephanie. He handcuffed Stephanie to the ring, RKO'd her, and then made out with her.
You just said that's
That's
not,
how he is.
You just said it's not a face thing. I mean, but then right before you said that, you said he's getting his hands on the guy who took him out for 4, 5, 6 months.
That's very true. But did you hear the announcers during the segment? Did you hear them?
They made him seem like a heel.
They made him seem like a heel.
Okay,
the announcers were like, "Oh my god!" Like they were being quiet.
Okay.
If it was a good guy, they'd be like, "Randy Orton finally getting his hands on Seth Rollins." They were making him seem like the heel. But he's getting cheered. Like,
Let me take you back a number of years. The Stone Cold getting quote unquote hit by the car, which we all remember was a combination of who?
Rikishi and Triple H.
Yes. And what did Stone Cold progress to do to Rikishi and Triple H once he found out it was them? He went nuts, stunning everyone. First of all, while he was doing his interrogation,
Okay, but you can't
and he
compare it to
destroyed
Stone
him.
Cold. That's a different
But
era.
no, because it's exactly the same
Randy
thing.
Orton is not Stone Cold.
He is in their own way.
No.
He's not like the badass who's going against the authority. He is just Randy Orton, who is a vicious, maniacal guy who, for some reason,
Then he
fans
never should
tend
have
to.
teamed with John Cena and shook his hand many times on Raw and shit. Because Randy Orton did that. Stone Cold wouldn't have done that after a guy he feared with like that. Like, you know what I mean?
He's teamed with The Rock before. And him and The Rock have had one of the most legendary feuds there have been.
I don't think you.
Him and Triple H have tag team. Thank you, Vinny.
I don't think
They were champions.
I don't think you end Raw with a slow, drawn-out beatdown of a heel, and you give them everything, so he can't even like. What's the point?
I think it was good.
I
thought
definitely enjoyed it. I do feel that
It puts pressure on WrestleMania, though.
It
It
puts
was
pressure
too
on the
much.
next couple of weeks coming up until WrestleMania and WrestleMania itself.
Yeah. No, not necessarily the next couple weeks. They can let it lay down a little bit. Like let's say next week Rollins isn't even there because of the beatdown that happens. What I'm saying is WrestleMania itself needs to be epic at this point between the two of them.
I wanted him to get his hands on Rollins. I just thought that this was too long and too much. It just gave away too much. What are we gonna do for 2 more weeks? That's my question.
I agree.
If you go based on purely entertainment from last night,
They have to
it was
step it up.
entertaining. But what are they going to do now?
They
It's
have to
just-
set up,
put
step it
themselves
up
in a corner.
tenfolds.
Well, no, next week's going to be the complete authority beatdown of Randy Orton.
And it should have been more like
That's going to happen. Next
should have
week
been
it's going to
Rollins
be
getting the better of Randy Orton because
no, because you're going to go week by
Randy
week.
Orton is the established. He's the guy you think is going to win.
You think they? All right. So how about this? You think they'll do something along this where Orton gets beat down next week, and then the authority says enough, and they do a contract signing the week before?
I don't think they're going to do a contract sign.
No, what's the contract signing for?
It's
though?
not on the level.
It's not going to be for the Money in the Bank.
Well, then, all right. So fine. Orton gets beat down, and they announce the match right before WrestleMania, the Monday before WrestleMania. Stephanie comes out, the authority comes out and says, "All right, you two, that's enough. You guys have a match or something." It's got to happen. Right? Orton's got to get beat down. And then the final week, the Monday before WrestleMania, they have to announce that match.
I kind
don't-
of see.
it's just-
I kind of see the authority turning their backs, sort of, on Seth Rollins,
No,
No.
after all
saying,
this.
saying we knew this was going to happen, but you were the technical leader of this authority, and you were saying, he's joking, this and that, blah blah blah. We
I don't
all knew
know.
this was going to happen.
No.
So therefore, you put it
No.
on yourself.
No, I
I mean,
don't see
they're
that
already
happening.
teasing a little problems with them. They have been. But I don't know if it's going to be that soon. Not before WrestleMania.
What do you thinking they're going to turn Rollins face then?
I don't know, but they're teasing the tension. When Jon Stewart was saying about how he's not in the match at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins gave that a good listen and looked bothered by that. That, if they really cared about you, wouldn't they find a way to get you in the match at WrestleMania?
Yep.
But,
Well,
I don't know. It seems
good
a
news,
little-
fellas. Daniel Bryan is now in the Intercontinental title
They just announced it.
match.
Okay.
It happens on SmackDown.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Well, you alerted them after you said it, so
Well,
there goes the
fuck
alert.
him.
Whoopsie!
Okay.
He's part of it.
That's
For all you who are
Which
going to
means
watch
I think
SmackDown, you don't
someone
need
else
to.
is going to be added to it.
Gold Dust.
God. No.
That would actually make sense, but
Where's
I'm
he been?
terrified.
I have no idea. He's
No.
been with the Ascension
No,
locked
please
in
do
a
not put Goldust in the
basement
match.
somewhere. I don't know.
He's too old for a ladder match.
A 9-man match. No.
Well, no, the 9-man doesn't bother me. Just Goldust's age kind of scares me in that match.
No, because then Goldust would take away from Stardust.
That's the whole point, because Stardust is
No,
going to win.
Not just take him the shot away from just take away the.
And he has
skill
tweeted
from it.
about it, saying that Stars was announced and saying that what about a former Intercontinental Champion? You know what I mean? So it's a possibility, but
I don't like the. It's just his age
put
bothers
him in
me.
the
He's
battle
too
royal,
old.
then, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, he can still
See,
put on a
that
show,
doesn't bother
but
me. I think that
him in a ladder match.
Goldust is just done.
How many times have we
After
had
this year?
old, slow guys in the ladder match? We've had Finlay. We've had Kane when he was past his prime. Mark Henry was in multiple Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Yeah.
Big Show. Oh. Should never have been a ladder match. They got like this massive reinforced ladder for him. Oh.
Well, as you guys know, WrestleMania season is upon us.
It is?
Kind
When
of.
is it?
I mean, it's the 29th.
Oh.
Just learned this tonight. Got 19 days.
Woo!
19. We've been doing, for the past couple of weeks, WrestleManias in increments of 5s. This week is 16 through 20. Our favorite matches. What you got for me?
I got Angle Guerrero, WrestleMania Double X, 20 for the title.
Man.
WrestleMania 18, Triple H versus Chris Jericho for the undisputed title. Great
Steph-
match. Watch it, bitches.
With Stephanie and Jericho.
With Stephanie, not with Triple H, ironically. Dan?
Me?
He said Dan.
I've changed my mind.
There
in
we
the
go.
Boo!
Flip flopper.
Whatever. I mean, as long as you don't
I've
choose
talked
the ones
about
you
Shawn
choose.
Michaels, Chris Jericho, WrestleMania 19 when we did, what was it?
Best Shawn Michaels
Yeah,
matches.
but Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels match, I think, because you guys took a lot of good ones. But that was a great match to watch. But also, I'm going to take from that one, I'm going to choose Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. Because
Ooh.
just the wrestling was amazing. Like, yeah, people like will shit on because the end was stupid that he
Hey,
Angle
the
saved
fact that
that
Kurt
match.
Angle saved Brock Lesnar's life in that match, come on. Brock Lesnar would be paralyzed right after a
He had a stomach
450.
condition. He was supposed to die, and he was just like, "Fuck you," and he beat it. So you know, I mean,
That is true.
Yeah, but landing right on your neck after a
Yeah,
450
paralysis is
front,
more of a different thing.
Yeah.
I
he
guess.
landed on his neck quite often. He
Not
did that
as
one
bad
time
as that
Big
would've
Show
been.
Threw him, and he landed like right on his neck.
No,
Popped
not,
right back
this.
up.
This would have been neck broken.
Yeah, well, he did.
No, he would have been
He
dead.
did something. He break his neck, I think.
Who?
He was concussed, or he injured his neck.
No, he hurt himself, but not as bad as it would have been.
But just before that, just the wrestling was amazing. It sucks that it ended on that note, and forever people will be like, "Oh, Brock Lesnar couldn't do it," but like this was a move that he did all the time, like in developmental.
Yeah,
he did that
yeah,
move all the time,
Kurt Angle
and he
says
clearly
it too
can do
on,
it. It was just too far.
Yeah.
All he had to do was drag Kurt Angle a little closer, and it would easily.
No,
made
Kurt Angle has been quoted saying in Stone Cold's interviews with him, he held him on his podcast, that earlier on in the day, Brock Lesnar was hitting those jumps
Oh, yeah, of
to
course.
mid-ring. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
hitting them.
But when you're tired after a long wrestling match,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're
and
walking
it
through
sucks.
but,
It
I
sucks
mean,
for him because I never loved the guy personally, but I respect his athletic ability, and I think he's a great wrestler. Well, back then he was more of a great wrestler because he actually wrestled more.
Yeah. Now he just fucks people.
Yeah, now he just fucks people up, which is awesome too. But I was always disappointed that he didn't hit that. I feel like that would have been like. I feel like that, may have changed his career path a bit.
The
you
only
know what
thing I
mean?
think
Like-
that ruined that match for me is seeing Kurt Angle actually move closer. Like, you actually see him kind of
Oh, but
scoot
they
over.
always do that.
Yeah.
No, but it was very visible.
And I'll give you a point right now. My match for 16 through 20 is WrestleMania 16, the triple threat ladder match.
Oh, boy.
You see Bubba Ray Dudley fixing ladders on himself, this and that. So it happens.
Yeah, but Kurt Angle blatantly was like, oh, shit. Like, almost
You instantly see Bubba Ray moving these ladders onto himself, Jeff moving ladders onto him, and you go, you okay? All right, good.
Yeah.
You know this. That's my match, by the way. The Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian,
Yes.
and Bubba.
Yeah, if you had to actually say who was in this match when you said triple threat ladder match at WrestleMania 16, people should not be listening.
The new kids,
Hey,
you know,
no.
you never know who's
What
listening.
was the one at 17? It was the same guy, wasn't it? TLC though.
It was a TLC.
TLC 2, I think. The second
Yeah,
one.
TLC
Because
2.
the
Yeah,
TLC first one was at SummerSlam. I think.
SummerSlam. We were talking about that
Yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
I just want to ask a quick question. Thoughts of
On that,
the
On a fart?
WWE,
that was disgusting. That's my
WWE signing Samoa Joe?
I'm thrilled.
It's not 100% confirmed.
No, not
I
confirmed,
agree.
but just thoughts. We talked about it earlier, but
Okay, he's going to NXT. He's going to have a different name. It's going to be a completely different guy.
I'm thrilled. He's a great wrestler. He's not old. I mean, he's not an old guy who's coming in like, in his
he's
40s,
as old
50s
as a
years
bunch
old.
of the guys right now. I mean, they
He's
brought
what?
in. He's old as a bunch of the guys that are.
He's
Yeah,
in his
top.
30s. He's
like
not,
35.
He's,
They
he's
brought
not
in
a 50-year-old.
He's
Batista
35.
was like 35 when he entered WWE, so it's not a problem at all. I mean,
Yeah, he's a great technical wrestler. I mean, I'm one of the only guys. I think I'm one of the only guys who actually watched TNA religiously.
I can't comment on him too much. I haven't watched many of his matches.
Yeah, I really
So
have. I
you
really
guys
haven't.
missed out on.
I
a lot.
really haven't followed him the last few years, so I really don't care. I mean,
But
if he
he's
comes
up-
in NXT and does something good,
He
I'll
gets
be happy
Angle
with
praise,
it. but-
so
He's
I'll put my word with Angle because Angle knows.
He's a big guy, kind of like how we were all saying about Kevin Owens, how he was a big guy who jumped over the ropes and everything
Yeah.
else.
He moves around well. I've
Samoa
seen that.
Joe is a very misleading guy, just like Kevin Owens. He's fat looking, and yet he can do shit in the ring.
They still will make him change his look a bit. They still will want him to get in better shape.
I would agree with you, but
Just
I don't
like
think...
Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens didn't look like this. Like, you could see a muscle in his arms. Like, if you watch YouTube videos, he was not in any kind of shape like that. You didn't see his arms.
No, I see him dropping a few pounds, tightening up, but he's a great wrestler. He's great on the mic.
I don't know if he's going to be successful on the main roster, but either way, you'll get some good matches with him on NXT. I mean,
He's a good character. He's got...
See, I'm against. I think this is like, listen, I've seen a couple of matches with him, and from what I saw, I was impressed. I wouldn't put him in NXT. I would give him straight.
No,
Main
I
roster.
disagree. I disagree.
I can't do that.
But you wouldn't put him in NXT? or
No,
you would?
I put him straight.
You'll
to the
never
main
do that
roster.
with anyone ever again.
I think that's a disrespect to you guys who have been in NXT. I think that's like a slap in the face to your
But
guys.
if you look to the guys that are in NXT right now, most of them have come from the Indies. Ring of Honor.
Yes,
If you want to call TNA the Indies, we'll go TNA.
it is.
New Wrestling Japan. Samoa Joe has come from that. And
But
in
they're
my
not
eyes,
going right to
Samoa
WWE.
Joe is more of a veteran
Yes, he
It
is.
doesn't
than
matter, though.
than Sami
I
Zayn,
don't
than Kevin
see-
Owens,
I don't see
than
him.
Adrian Neville, than all these guys, than Hideo Itami. He's more of a veteran than
Okay.
those guys.
I don't
Do
see
you think
them-
a fan that does not read the internet knows who Samoa Joe is?
No.
Because most likely he probably doesn't watch TNA.
No.
And he has no idea who Samoa Joe is.
I don't think that they're gonna. I don't
It
think
was
he's.
one thing back when WCW, because everyone knew the WCW guys. Even if you only watched WWE, you knew what was going on in WCW.
I don't think they're gonna keep him in NXT for a long
Not too
spurt.
long, but I think he should. I think he should.
I go about 6 to 8 months.
You know, enough.
I
Son
go
of a
6 to
bitch.
8 months of Samoa Joe and TNA, and then they try.
You mean
and bring
NXT?
him- NXT, sorry, yeah, and then try and bring him up to the
That
regulars.
fucking reeks.
That's why I'm kind of going off.
All right, so
my
where do you
thought.
put it? All right, so now my next question. I can't even fucking talk.
Question?
Next
Question?
question.
It fucking
He's
smells like ass
poisoned.
and laughing.
He's poisoned us right now.
God, it smells like
None of us can get a
Pringles.
thought out.
It smells like all three
that
mixed
was
up
sponsored
Pringles.
by Pringles.
No, all right,
Delicious
so
and causes
you
gas.
want him on the main roster,
Potato
correct?
crisps.
In a certain amount of time.
Direct?
Yeah, about 6 months to 8 months.
I don't know if
I'll
he'll ever make
Okay.
it because I don't. If Vince McMahon's in charge, I don't think he wants like a.
See, I don't think so, because TNA was not WCW where it was like a threat to him.
Does he get a championship
You think
push on the
Vince?
roster?
No,
you
he
think
does
Vince
not
will give
right
a guy
away.
with that
Not
look
right
a
away.
chance that is coming from TNA?
He
I
gave
say no.
Rikishi a chance.
He didn't come from TNA.
Yeah, but look
But
at
Rikishi was fatter than Samoa Joe was.
Vince McMahon said in his interview with Stone Cold, the podcast, that he doesn't even view TNA as competition at all.
That's
They're
what I'm
nothing.
saying. I don't think that there's any like grievance with them. Samoa Joe, yes, he was a loyalist for a long time, and he realized he's getting screwed there. He jumped ship.
But don't you think that guys who have wrestled Samoa Joe, who are in the WWE now, are like in Triple H's ears saying, "Hey, you should get him," like a Daniel
Well, Triple
Bryan.
H has said
Yes.
that. Triple H has said that he's always liked him, and he wanted to get him signed always. So this is Triple H's move. So you know he's going to be in NXT because Vince is definitely not approving this. Triple H, he's saying, "Let me take on NXT, see what."
Let me
he
show
can
you
do."
what he can do.
He doesn't watch NXT anyways, Vince. So what is he going to show him?
Yeah, but Triple H can bring him videos and say, "Listen, look at this guy."
Please watch it, even though you don't watch NXT.
But if I'm WWE, I want to bring this guy in before
No.
he hits 40.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying,
I
like,
give him,
in general.
Like I said,
Yeah, but come on, just think about this for a second. You don't
How
bring
old
in
is he?
fucking Kurt Angle, and you're going to bring in this guy? That's a fucking joke.
Yeah, but Kurt Angle has beef with WWE.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
He's a legend. No matter
Vince
what, though.
McMahon is in charge. He does not let things go easily.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
it's been too long. and,
Wrong.
Like,
Kurt Angle, when he wanted to rejoin the WWE, went through Triple H first. Triple H said no. and then he went over Triple H's head to Vince.
Are you sure about that?
That's what I read.
I thought it was different. I thought he went to Vince first.
I think it was the other way around.
I thought he went to Vince first.
I'm almost certain it was the other way
And
around.
Triple H is actually in charge of that. So
By the way,
Vince is
sorry.
higher
He's
above.
in charge of
but-
it now.
By the way, hold on. Samoa Joe was 35 years old, so I
35,
do
yeah,
predict
right.
him being in
Said that.
about 2 years. Maximum.
I don't know
main
if we'll
event.
ever see him on the main roster.
Yeah, he will.
I think we will.
Not right away, but
I don't
within
know.
a
Maybe.
year.
I
Maybe
say,
not.
listen, I think WWE has time to play with. I think they want to sign him before he hits 40.
Yeah.
Just
You gotta
for the
also
fact
remember
that,
they are liking signing and having guys around. They've said they want to have more experienced guys working
But-
in NXT. You have Rhino, Brian Kendrick. They want guys to have them to work
No,
with.
those
but
are
here's the
ex-WWE
thing.
WWE guys.
Season them.
They're
But
ex-WWE
here's the
guys.
exactly. They're just paying their they're finishing out. Samoa
Yeah,
Joe's
yeah.
35. He is a former, I don't remember how many times, but former TNA champion at least
Well,
one time.
I mean, look at
Yeah,
it now.
but that won't be
He's
mentioned
back in
on
Ring of
WWE.
Honor now.
It'll just be some random guy with a different name.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if you're looking at it from a developmental / talent wise, he can be your champion.
He doesn't
and
have a WWE look. He does not.
He could easily.
Not
He's
a
had it in
current
TNA.
WWE look.
But okay, current. Brodus Clay
Well,
was current until about a year and a half ago.
yeah, but he had a look like he was massive. Like he was like what 6 something. He was like 6'7" or something. He was huge,
I don't know. I see them pushing him up to the main.
and he
Main
wasn't
roster,
competing
not
for the
main
title. Samoa Joe is more of a serious wrestler. So a serious wrestler.
I think
like,
they
he doesn't
let
have the physical-
Samoa Joe. He just got out of TNA not too long ago, so of course the speculation is brewing. He's in Ring of Honor right now, and I'm pretty sure he won the championship in Ring of Honor.
So it shows that he's still in
Yeah, but
like
he's-
wrestling.
But
He's
I
not
mean, that's
under
Ring
any
of
kind
Honor going. You're a big name guy,
He's not under
He's
an
not-
exclusive
he's not- no,
contract
he's
with
not.
Ring of Honor. He can leave at any time.
which
for
means
other
I think
stuff
he'll go to
development.
Japan, do his thing in Japan, and then I think that's when WWE. Will
I don't
try
even
to
see.
take him.
I don't really see them waiting that long. I see WWE getting on this as fast as possible. Going.
I mean,
Let's get
personally, he's a TNA guy. I never really watched it, so I mean, I don't see the huge deal in this signing. I think he's okay.
He was
Okay,
as a
small
TNA.
bits I've
I used to love
Okay.
TNA up until a few years ago.
Here it goes.
He was.
Shut the
a
front
good
door
reason.
wants to know top 5 of Samoa Joe's feuds. You've watched
you
TNA.
know.
You watch more
You're
than
the
that.
He
TNA
did
dude.
go against AJ Styles for a little bit.
I know
Which
Angle's
was a
got to be
great
there,
one.
because I've seen those.
He's had great ones against
Punk?
Angle. No, I don't remember him against Punk.
Really?
He,
That's right,
Really
he
into
Punk
it,
it.
he
really.
did go against
No.
the main event Mafia for a
Oh,
very
yeah,
long
Honor.
time.
Wait, are we talking about TNA feuds or are we talking about
TNA.
just? Oh, dude, not general feuds. I'm sorry. That's
He
like
did go against the main event Mafia for a while. He was kind of like an assassin
Which
type
was
guy.
what Booker T, Kevin Nash.
Kurt
Scott
Angle,
Steiner.
and no, Scott Steiner. I do
Steiner,
not
Steiner?
believe he was in that.
Really?
I believe it was Booker T, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, and I believe Sting was the 4th guy in that group.
Yeah, that's just weird. Sting group like that.
And he wore a suit, by the way, in that.
Yeah. So weird.
No face paint.
Really?
He would
When
come
he
out in
wrestled,
sunglasses.
he had
and
the face paint.
when he wrestled, he would put
Yeah,
the face
but
paint
he would
back
come
on.
out
But he
with
would
no
come out
face
in
paint.
full suit and tie and
Glasses.
sunglasses, which he looked horrible in. But
Yeah.
that's besides the point. I'm
Right
trying
on.
to think of who else I would put on there, though.
You named 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a 4th one that I would think
Oh,
was
just
great.
some random new name. Magnus. I don't know.
He did have a decent. They were tag team partners, and they actually had a good feud against each other.
There you go. I got it.
4.
I enjoyed it. It was actually pretty 2 good guys who went like tag teamed and fell apart.
Did he go up against Bully Ray at any time, or
Yeah, the
I
big
feel
guy.
like Bully Ray at one point was TNA's top heel.
He kind of was because they had this biker gimmick thing
Oh,
going on. It was
that was terrible. Ace and Mates.
thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it. They had that going on for a while, which kind of was like NWO
Yeah.
wannabe
like
nonsense.
17 people in it.
Yeah, no, there really was. There were guys who weren't even real wrestlers.
all-
WWE rejects. Like,
What did he write
Luke
back? Did he say
Gallows.
anything?
He said last 10 years really hasn't done much other than the
Well, that I don't blame
shit on
him.
the side of his face.
I don't blame him for that. I blame
Yeah, like,
TNA.
like who Umaga had the or
Oh.
Tensai had the tattoos on his face or whatever the fuck it was.
He kind of went to like
Airbrush.
Taz kind of trained him, and that's when he was going against main event Mafia. He used to come out with a machete and face paint, and like torture, like scare them and torture them, kind of deal. TNA, I think, made the mistake of WCW / even WWE of we're going to sign the old guys and give them the pushes. Where they kind of shit on the guys like
Because
AJ
it gets you
Styles.
immediate viewers, but
Yes.
does it really build viewers long term? No.
Yes, because like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe were two of the guys who really built TNA's name in their
But they
matches.
need more than that. I feel like those were the only
Yes,
guys
I'm not saying that they were enough to carry a company, but they were kind of the guys.
And think
building
about in
it.
WWE if those guys would have been champions. I don't think so.
AJ Styles, I think,
His
could
prime,
have been,
I don't
except
think
for
he
except for his attitude. AJ Styles always had supposedly a bad attitude. I think
I mean,
AJ
he
Styles
has like a
could have been.
cruiserweight kind of look.
No,
almost.
he was good. Trust me.
I know. I'm just saying that
When he was
generally-
released, I was praying that WWE would pick him up,
I
and
didn't
he
think
never, they
would.
never did.
But how-
You heard me. How many times
Yeah.
on truck did I
He
tell
was
you?
in the developmental apparently
Was he?
at one point.
I heard he had a
before
bad
TNA.
attitude or something like that. That's why they wouldn't let
Which
him.
is very reasonable. AJ Styles is
And again, I mean, they've
He was a
dealt with
great
bad
wrestler,
attitudes.
though.
They've said Seth Rollins had a miserable attitude in developmental and thought he didn't deserve to be here. He was better than this and all that shit. So it happens.
what's true is damn true.
He was a great wrestler. I would loved to see AJ Styles still wrestle.
Yeah. I just don't feel like he's like the WWE prototype, what they want. So, and they
Well,
realize
because
they
they
have
want a guy who's like 7 foot something. But
they have
AJ
AJ guys
Styles-
who can work. So they're
AJ
like,
Styles was a guy who was kind of like Dale Bryan. He was a short guy who actually had some power to him. He was a high flyer who with some power, and he could put on a great match. But the only thing I think AJ had over Daniel Bryan, and I don't know if I would be in agreement with our fan here, but I think he was better on the mic than Daniel Bryan ever was.
Well,
I haven't watched enough AJ Styles, but of what I have watched, I don't know if I would say he's better wrestler than Daniel Bryan. He's probably
Oh, easily he is.
No,
Easily, hands down.
you got to watch
What
it.
does he say? What's going on?
You got to watch
He's
Daniel
insane.
Bryan matches before he was in WWE. WWE limits his moves. He's got to do this signature move, this signature move. He can't pull out the moves that
This is the WWE
AJ Styles can pull out any move when he's in a Ring of Honor and drop a guy on his head with his finisher. You know, Daniel Bryan is limited in a certain way, so I don't know. I think we tend to not give the main roster credit. A lot of times we say NXT. We've said some people have said NXT has a better roster, which is not the
Don't-
case.
don't
They're
get me
just
wrong.
given the chance because
Yes.
they're no matter what. If you had a guy like Cesaro, even Kofi Kingston, put him on the independents, they'd be putting on the best match of the night every night.
Look at what's his name, Evan Bourne, who goes under the name Matt Sydal now.
Yeah.
He puts on phenomenal shows. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless,
Like a
he
Bourne.
just
He just came
recently
in the
got
wrong
hurt.
time.
He
If he
got
came
hurt.
in the time that was a cruiserweight division, he would have been
Yeah, but
very
when that happened,
popular.
he was like 6.
That's true.
And he was good for a tag team. He was a good tag team wrestler with Kofi Kingston.
Yeah,
that was a good
they
team.
were great. But I mean, like that's a prime example right there. Look at him, like.
Yeah.
he's in the
I'm not. No,
independent scene.
I'm not saying that.
I'm
Like,
just saying a lot of times, like, WWE limits a lot.
but
If I just saw Cesaro for the first time the past 2 months, I'd be
Another
like,
prime
this
example.
guy sucks. That's
WWE
what I would say.
Yeah.
WWE limits a lot. Albert was a champion in Japan.
Oh, yeah, he came here
Yeah.
with this stupid gimmick.
No.
And he did
Who did he
that.
go one-on-one with for the championship? Brock Lesnar.
oh,
Bet you didn't know that.
I did not.
Didn't drop your pants for that one, did you?
No.
It happened.
Why-
Look it
why
up. It was a
drop
terrible
pants?
fucking match, but it happened
Oh, well, you're talking about...
in New Wrestling Japan.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
WWE
give
really.
these- like
they're
give
bad
Divas a
at it.
chance. Give the main roster a chance. Give all of them a chance. Let them put on fucking matches.
Yeah, I just think the independence
Vince.
things, that spoils people that watch that stuff because they don't have to do any storylines. They just have a guy. They don't have 50 cameras where they have to look at the camera a certain way every time. It's just a guy letting go out and just do the moves that he can do, you know?
Did you hear about, it's pretty relevant. Josh Matthews was recently in an interview, and he said that Vince has lost his touch completely with the company. He doesn't know what the product is
wasn't-
about.
I agree with that, but
I think a wrestler just said that too.
But I don't.
I just know it's Josh Matthews.
It's
like,
all-
he's,
I don't know.
He's right,
a lot of
though,
times it's people that
honestly.
get fired being sour. I agree
No,
he has lost touch.
Yeah,
but,
no, he has lost touch, though. I mean,
okay, but I'm just saying Josh Matthews is not like an opinion that I'm gonna.
Oh no, it was what's his name? Drew McIntyre. He's the one who just said that. He's the one who said Vince has lost his touch.
yeah.
That's coming straight from a wrestler.
Yeah, that's coming straight from a
Well,
guy that
well,
was given a 3MB gimmick. Of course he's gonna say that. I mean,
Yeah, but you remember Drew McIntyre when he first came out
Oh,
was
God.
Vince's guy. He was Vince's handpicked guy to be the next in line,
yeah.
wasn't he? Originally, that was his character. And then what do they do?
People
Again,
didn't like
they
him
put
backstage
they.
either. I think he pissed some people off. Things like
Well,
that.
it's a very politics-driven
Just
game.
like what we got with Alex Riley. I thought the guy was going to be an Intercontinental
He's
champion.
back though. He's back though. He's going up
Apparently.
against Kevin Owens.
Apparently. I don't think can be salvaged, though.
I'm excited for this feud though.
I thought this was a guy, when he went against The Miz, he was getting good pop from the crowd. I thought it was a guy that could be like a babyface, kind of like a John
Well, I
Cena.
mean, if you look at it, didn't the Miz turn on Alex Riley and like all that stuff? That's before I started watching. If I've seen like
He had a match,
about it,
he
but-
beat The Miz on pay-per-view, too. Right after The Miz lost his title.
I mean, if he's a good wrestler, bring him up. I mean, you got Cesaro, you got.
I
Daniel
thought he was
Bryan,
okay.
you got-
I mean, he has like a physical
Like I said, this is
look
before
that
I
is-
watched. You know, so
But I mean, like I said, that's just Triple H versus Vince. I mean, you watch NXT and you see these, just move sets and just talent talent being talent. And you watch the Raw and you just see garbage. I mean, that's just Vince.
They're afraid to just push someone. Like, they've done it with Reigns because of the heritage and all of that. They're afraid to just have someone come up and just push them. And we've seen that with the Ascension. Like, they fucked it up, and they were afraid, and they were just like, okay, let's keep them off TV now. Fuck it. We're not going to push them anymore. They're
Which is-
afraid to do that.
which
That's
is a
why I don't
shame.
think a guy like Alex Riley's ever going to get a chance on the main roster and get pushed. Like, they're not going to have faith in him. You
It's
know
a
what I mean?
shame,
They don't
because
take
we-
a risk anymore.
We were all excited to see Ascension, and then they came up and we were all like, all right, get
they
them
just
off.
got
I still like the Ascension.
they're shit
I just-
out of luck. I mean, I think they're gonna go back to NXT and get a totally different gimmick.
I don't
They
think
might not
totally
even be
different gimmick.
a tag team duo anymore. They
I
just-
hope a different look.
I don't think they could survive on their own, though.
I think they could. If I recall correctly, I think Connor was an original member of the Ascension, and the other guy got plugged into it
Yeah,
because
because the other
one of the
guys-
other guys was just terrible.
Yeah, no, the other guys, like, it used to be a completely different gimmick. The
Yeah,
Ascension.
it was.
Yeah,
it was
but what I'm
it was
saying is,
completely different.
It was way darker, and it was
Yes,
like
way
they would
darker.
come out with the lights. The lights would be out, and then the lights would flicker, and you'd see them in the ring. Like, it was way darker than it is now.
no, but what I'm saying is, I don't think.
Apparently,
in
the
terms of-
Ascension still wrestles on Super.
The Ascension had more like an Undertaker style
someone
like
watches.
gimmick when it first began.
Shut the front door just told me that
What?
Ascension is still on Superstars. So Zack Ryder. I'm just saying.
Well, I haven't watched
Which-
Superstars.
Jobbers.
Have you guys seen that whole tweet feud between him and Adam Rose?
Oh, great.
No.
No, I don't want to know about it.
Well, I mean, you don't have a Twitter.
I'm
You don't
convinced
give a
that
shit.
they're going to go with Zack Ryder was the bunny.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could see it. You know what? I would enjoy that.
Because
Why would you
why,
want to ruin
this
Zack
video,
Ryder
though?
already than he is?
why all of a sudden does he want
Wait.
this feud with Adam Rose?
Wasn't it a
I
video
don't
that got leaked after Ryback got
Yeah, it
beat
was
up?
Enzo.
It was Enzo or something like that.
Well,
It
I
was
mean,
all people different weeks, but that
it's-
doesn't matter. It matters who they
course.
reveal.
Yeah, who they reveal
but,
as
but
the
do
bunny.
you really want to put Zack Ryder through that? Not only is he a joke
You
anyway,
don't think the bunny
he
could
was
be
a
in the
bunny?
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
I would fucking
Bunny
jump
Mania!
off my
My point
roof.
is,
They gotta say Bunny Mania once during WrestleMania. They gotta
I
get
would
it.
jump off my roof.
my point
Yeah,
is,
that
Zack
happens.
Ryder's already enough of a joke. Do you really want to add the bunny to that
Well,
resume of a joke?
I don't think they care.
Where else are you gonna
about
go with
him.
him?
I don't think they
mean,
care.
Really?
I don't even,
Where
I
else you
don't
gonna
even
go
know
with
how
him?
we got talking about Zack Ryder. This is the most publicity he's gotten in a long time.
I'm just saying.
No,
He's
no,
from
that's
Long
fine.
Island. We're Long Island people. We
It's
gotta
not,
give
it's
him
not
credit.
even that.
I'm just saying, this is the
came
most
across
he
my
gets.
mind, you
No,
know?
Guess don't lie. You love him. You.
Listen.
I think he's a solid wrestler, and he had to go with a stupid gimmick because it was the
I
only
think-
way he made himself different, and they never gave him anything else.
And I think that's what they're trying right now. I think him and Adam Rose are in cahoots
Rebuild
with each other.
mood.
As
Just
long as
saying,
he keeps saying woo
we
woo,
could do
you
this.
know it to end a promo. No matter how
You know-
serious he is, it's not gonna work.
He's a great wrestler, though.
He's a solid wrestler. He hasn't given enough chance to say if he's really great or not. I would say.
He was United States champion. You know, he beat Dolph Ziggler. Where's Dolph Ziggler now?
Not that
Going
high.
for the
Yeah.
continent, the next
Again.
step.
But he beat Dolph Ziggler before. He beat Dolph Ziggler December 2011 at TLC, and then the next month Dolph Ziggler got a title shot at Royal Rumble. So I'm saying, like,
That's when they cared.
so yeah, they actually, that was a pretty big win then.
He was
When you think
relevant,
about
yeah.
it, he went out to.
But hey, we don't. Whatever. I wish like.
You can't give everyone a push. Though,
No,
you
you
know?
can't. You can't get everyone
But
to push. But
You
like,
could give them a push once every couple of years and not have the same guys getting pushed. Not keep having Cena getting pushed. And you know,
Which I like because now we're not seeing Cena get pushed.
yeah, now we're not.
You know, we're seeing him
Finally,
take a backstage.
but it's been a long
for
time.
while.
I mean,
Well, I mean, I think they realize Cena's getting older. I mean, how old is Cena? He's got to be in his upward 30s at this point.
mid-30s. I'd say 36.
I mean, he's already had a couple major injuries. How much more does Cena got in the tank? I think they're starting to realize what else. Yeah,
37.
he's 37.
he's already pushing. I mean, he's come back from injuries so early, so many times. Like his body's just gonna.
That's
It's
what
gonna
I'm
be done
saying.
soon.
I'm saying
I
that
think that's why they brought him down.
exactly. Let him build up the U.S.
I thought they were gonna have
championship
Rusev
or
just
IC.
put him out,
No.
and we wouldn't see him. Give him a vacation. I thought we were gonna see that.
No.
We're not gonna see any more. But I thought,
Oh, okay. I
Maybe.
think you were saying retirement.
No,
you know.
no, not retirement. Like
Oh.
put him out for months.
No.
Give him a vacation to
Um,
heal up because they were saying that like he was beaten. He's
Well-
beaten up.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're going to do that with Cena eventually, but I think that's why they're putting him to the U.S. Do I think they're going to give him one more title reign? Maybe even two more? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think they're going to at least.
Unfortunately.
I think they're going to at least tie him for Ric Flair,
I hate that garbage.
if not beat him. They might give
All
him.
of those records are tainted because it's like when you say like, oh, they beat Babe Ruth's home run record. Think of how many games he did that in. Nowadays, people drop and win the title a month, every
Yeah.
month. So you're getting reigns that are a month long. Back then, it wasn't like that. You didn't
No,
have
Ric
that.
Flair held it for how
Yeah, no
long?
matter what, the title gets held for like 4, 5, 6 months. No matter what, at least.
They didn't wrestle as much. Bruno
Well, they
Sammartino.
wrestled, but not on TV. It wasn't TV.
It wasn't
Yeah,
televised.
Bruno Sammartino only, I think, defended the title.
San Martino.
San
Why can no one
Martino
say? I just like heard
He's German.
four-
It's San Martino.
You
three
said
people just
German?
botched
Oh,
it.
he's German. I was calling him German.
Oh, he's German.
He doesn't know how to do the
I don't know how to do the Italian. The bippity boppity.
Yeah,
Boopity boppity.
You know?
What?
Yeah.
How the hell
I
he
don't know how
gets
to do that.
botching his
Bippity
ass?
boppity.
But anyway, he didn't defend it every single month. He defended it once a year. So his
I don't know about
his-
that once a year.
Yeah, no, that's too much.
it was kind of close to that.
Too much?
No, like two, once a year is like that's a long shot.
No,
way.
maybe every 6
I'm
months
just
on
saying, you
TV.
can't, these records are stupid. And they say, Triple H has how many reigns himself? He has 15 or something?
He's a 15-time champion.
Like, it's ridiculous. I love Triple H, but that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, Ric Flair's is technically they count everything from WCW, WWE, and NWA.
The only reason why they do that is because they bought those territories.
Yes,
Yes. Otherwise, they would not.
like they would never. Like if he won the TNA, they would never count that,
No.
obviously.
No.
But I think do I think they give that to Cena and say, listen, we'll at least tie you with Flair?
But they've given everything to Cena. I don't agree.
But he's been the face of the company for how long? Once The Rock left, he really became the face of WWE.
No.
No, he was.
No, he
I wouldn't
wasn't.
say so.
The Rock.
He was.
I disagree.
When
on
you
that.
say The Rock
No.
left, do you mean 2004 or 2002 when he really left?
I'm talking about the movie career.
Because 2002 he left, but he came back for matches. But he wasn't really. It wasn't his time
He
anymore.
wasn't full time.
2004 is when he officially left his last match.
No, I'm saying from 2002 on.
Then no, because Cena was not anything really till 2005.
No, but then he started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, 'cause didn't
and
Cena
at least the
win
last
05?
decade, he's
He won
been
the
the guy
title
in.
with JBL?
Yeah.
And even in 2005, I felt like Batista was getting. Well, Batista was
It
more
was
popular
evolution.
than John Cena after WrestleMania
I'm not saying
21,
popular.
when
I'm saying he was
Batista
the
being
guy.
Triple H was bigger than John
Yeah.
Cena being JBL. That was the SmackDown belt, and it wasn't.
But what I'm
it wasn't
saying-
until he came to
Yeah,
Raw and
those
had
feuds
feuds
were
with
big,
Jericho,
though.
Angle.
But think about
later
Cena
Edge.
though. Cena versed the top guys back then. He versed Taker. He versed JBL.
Mhm.
He versed
That was
Angle.
tough, yeah.
I mean, he versed all the top guys. So I
Edge.
could Edge. I mean, I
You
can see him
know?
having. I mean, I do agree that at that one point Batista and Triple H was bigger. But I mean, Cena.
He did have his bouts with Triple H. To agree with Vinny
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah, later
he's
on.
he's had bouts with Randy Orton. He's had bouts with any of the top guys you name.
Guerrero.
Yeah, I
Guerrero,
know he has, but-
Big Show. You name any of the big guys. Jericho, we've already said. You name any of the big guys, he's had that feud.
Okay.
So
just
that's what I'm
that
saying. He's been kind of the face of the company for
the
a
lost
long
dad.
while.
By default, not on his own merits.
No, I mean the company's.
You gotta give him credit for being there every week, and he's improved his wrestling over the years. He's been a solid talker on the microphone. He can carry feuds with talking. You have to give him credit for that. But it's
I see them handing him at least tying Ric Flair before he goes out, though. as a reward of
I
saying
don't
thank
want
you
that
for
to
everything you've done. And he's been kind of loyal to the
Why
company.
does he need that? Why was that thank you? I beat Ric Flair's record. That's not
Not saying beat, at least tie it. Will make you as good as Ric Flair. Because Ric Flair's the standard bearer. Everyone
He
compares
just
it.
made people
Yeah,
so
but
sick of John Cena now.
can
Like,
you
do
see-
people really want him
Can
winning
you
the
see
belt?
John Cena wrestling until his late 50s,
No.
early
No.
60s?
Not the way he's treated his body.
Yeah, but Flair did not
No.
win a world title in his last
Yeah, but that's okay though.
10 years.
But he was wrestling until well after that. The man can still take a bump. He still
Yeah.
passes the WWE Impact test.
Okay.
Yeah, but
At
no.
how old is Ric Flair?
Cena,
65?
Cena, I don't see doing that because of how badly he's treated his body.
Yeah.
Cena's never allowed himself to heal. Think about that injury after, what was it, SummerSlam? He had the elbow injury or
The
whatever.
football
So,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Was
even
that,
like
was that SummerSlam? When did he come back after that? 3 months?
even Hulk Hogan has injuries, but like the guy has always like gone away and come back. Like Cena just comes back immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when he had that freaking wiffle ball under his arm, he was back within 3 months.
That's
And
what
the
And they were
style
saying he was
of
supposed to be on
wrestling-
9.
The style of
I haven't
wrestling.
been informing you guys, but shut the front door and I have been having a conversation.
Oh.
He
Okay.
asked, how old is Ziggler?
Ziggler's got to be
He's
34.
He's 3 years younger than John
Wow.
Cena.
Yeah.
He goes, so
But he hasn't.
he's
taken
only
the
he's
beating.
only 4 years younger than John Cena. Is Ziggler on his way out?
No.
Absolutely
He
not.
hasn't taken the physical beating.
Cena has
Yeah.
more surgeries
Yep.
and has been in the WWE for 13 years, give or take. Ziggler has had concussions
That's really it.
That's it.
and has been in the
And
company
Ziggler
for
has
about
not-
10 or 11 years.
No. not
Yes.
healthy.
But the thing is,
including
also,
developmental.
But
Oh,
Ziggler,
okay, yes.
but Ziggler's big gig at back in then was the Spirit Squad, which didn't
Only-
really
yeah.
consider wrestling.
Yeah.
So
But
he
if you
just-
think about it,
once
the
he
breakout
became
star
a
in the Spirit Squad was
Kenny.
No, but
Ken. Where's Ken now?
Who?
Nowhere.
He went up against HBK, right?
He did a leg drop off the top rope. Now
Oh.
Fandango's
oh,
down.
okay, yes.
I don't even remember who this guy was.
Kenny,
No, but I'm saying,
No,
but
I'm serious.
Ziggler.
I'm not making a joke.
Dijkstra?
Dykstra. Well,
Dijkstra.
yeah, Kenny Dykstra.
I honestly
Well,
don't
how
remember
long
this
was
guy.
it?
at all.
WCW guy.
How long was Ziggler in Spirit Squad for?
I remember the
He was
Spirit
the
Squad.
breakout guy from the Spirit
I remember
Squad.
the Spirit Squad. I don't remember the rest, like
Yeah.
You
anyone
want to know
else.
what happened to him, though?
I thought he was in the longer.
He
that's
went
what
from
I'm
the
saying.
Spirit Squad back down to developmental.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm saying. He hasn't taken the bumps that Cena's taken. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
Plus he has all
Ziggler,
the
like, only the
surgeries.
past 5 years,
Hasn't had
Ziggler has been
injuries.
in matches of, like, you know what I mean? Like,
And look,
Cena's
then again,
been
in only the past
TLC.
5 years
Cena's been in
has
brutal matches, though.
Ziggler have gotten concussions.
Yeah, I'm
But
just saying.
Cena's been in brutal matches, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Ziggler's kind of not been in there.
No.
His concussions have come from, a Randy Orton
boot to
punt
the
that
head.
really went wrong or something
Rio.
like that.
Swagger boot him in the head.
Shut the front door says if Brock Lesnar has stayed, there wouldn't have been a John Cena.
There would be John Cena, but he wouldn't
He
be
wouldn't
to the
been
degree.
the
No, he wouldn't be. Yeah, he
I don't
wouldn't
think he would
be
be as big as
the
he is.
15-time champion. But
I
I
agree
wouldn't
with
say
that.
he wouldn't be just off the paper.
Yeah.
But you could say that about a lot of people.
You could
Rock-
say that like if
You
Eddie
could say
Guerrero
if
lived,
The Rock
he'd
didn't get a
still
movie
be-
career,
Benoit
John Cena
lived,
wouldn't be that
exactly.
big. If The Rock didn't get a movie
You
career.
could also say if Brock Lesnar never left, Edge would never have gotten the push that he got.
And also
technically.
think about if Stone Cold didn't break his neck and he could stay another like 3 or 4 years.
No.
Would Cena have gotten the push?
No. Neither would have Edge, because Edge would have been the mid card like he was when Stone Cold, when
Yeah,
The
that's
Rock, when Brock Lesnar was there.
And you could say
Edge
about
was a
Eddie
tag
Guerrero
team
too.
guy.
Would Eddie Guerrero have gotten the main event?
No, absolutely
chance
not. No.
If guys like The Rock and
But I mean,
Stone
if you think
Cold
about
were not
it,
around.
they did that whole.
Chris Benoit would never have gotten the push.
Listen, they did that whole brand extension thing where
No.
dividing
Oh, yeah,
thing
but-
where Raw and SmackDown went to. You had the SmackDown 6. You
Yeah,
had,
yeah,
you
okay,
had
but-
Kurt Angle, Brock
But when I
Lesnar.
say like giving him the
Benoit,
belt,
Guerrero.
I'm talking about like he could win either belt. Like giving him the SmackDown belt, I don't consider that. Like
The SmackDown belt was kind of like the bitch belt of the two.
yeah,
It was almost like the minor league belt. It was almost like, you're the the Ducks.
whatever
for
belt
baseball.
was on Raw was
What
the
are the-
bigger champion, and that's just how it was.
Yeah.
But SmackDown was better than Raw for almost an entire year.
It was, but it
One
wasn't
year
bigger.
out of how many, though? That's the point.
But how many
Raw-
was Raw to SmackDown?
What do you mean?
SmackDown's been around since '99.
And Raw's been around.
Since
But if you say
Yeah,
SmackDown's better
yeah.
wrestling for a year, it doesn't matter. Raw is still the main
Show.
storyline. It's always been.
Exactly. In
that.
the last few years, SmackDown's been just a replay show for
Well,
Raw.
for the last
No.
couple of years.
When
Well,
SmackDown
that-
first started, it
When-
was
When
actually.
back
Paul
then,
Heyman was in charge of
Think
SmackDown,
of the
course.
top 10
There weren't-
moments countdown of SmackDown compared to what the top 10 countdown moments of Raw would be. Like, SmackDown top 10 moment was JBL getting shot with a dart in Japan and talking to a fucking blow-up dinosaur like it was Godzilla. That was one of the top 10 SmackDown moments. So that tells you storyline moments on SmackDown were not
Take it
as
seriously.
important. And it
Absolutely,
was not as,
I agree.
did not have
that's
them,
when JBL was champion, though.
I'm saying they didn't have the
before
monumental
that, though.
moments. It never...
What, are you referring to when it first started and like The Rock
No,
and
no,
Stone
no,
Cold
I'm
were on?
saying
Or are you talking
when-
about after it's
it was
talking
SmackDown 6.
2003.
You had Lesnar. You had Eddie Guerrero.
2003.
Benoit.
Even had Hogan, though.
Rey Mysterio.
The
Hogan
story-
was there from time to time.
The story was still far better. than Raw.
I
Raw
honestly,
was more about the story,
Yeah.
always.
it was.
Wrestling
But
on SmackDown.
That's
now
why
I
the
think wrestling-
guy who
you
got
call me
drafted
watching
on.
SmackDown every week, though.
Okay.
Every
it was
week.
very good back then.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
back
bad,
then.
but it wasn't as good as Raw. Raw was always the spirit brand. If I could only like back then, if I could
Benoit
only
was
watch
more
Raw
like
or
though.
SmackDown,
Most of it. It's mostly Benoit.
I'd say Raw.
I would take Raw in a heartbeat. If I had to pick one a week to watch, back then, Raw or SmackDown, every single night I would have picked Raw.
Yep.
If they were on the same night on a different channel, I would have been on Raw. It would have been
I
like
think
WCW versus
SmackDown-
WWE,
Well,
and I would have been flipping back and
let me
forth.
say- let me say this, though.
They didn't have SmackDown had big names, but they
They
did
had the
more
Undertaker. Didn't they have the Undertaker for a small period of time on SmackDown?
But let me
why?
say this
Yeah.
though. I would think, alright, the only argument I could probably bring up for SmackDown is it was the closeout show for the pay-per-views. Like, that was the big thing. What's going to happen this Sunday? That was the big thing for SmackDown. Like, now SmackDown is just like, they randomly
Well, yeah,
have, like,
now
everyone
SmackDown
comes
is just a
out,
recap of
yeah.
Raw.
And now
Let's
it's like
talk
all
about what
randomly
happened
come
on
out,
Raw.
everyone fight in the same ring, who's going to fight at the pay-per-view. But back in the day, I will give SmackDown the credibility of the closeout, the go-home, the real go-home show for the pay-per-view. Not Raw. Like, Raw is like storyline, SmackDown was
That's how
what's
it's
going to
been for the
happen.
past couple of years, though.
Yeah.
So where did we start this from? I lost track.
I don't
Where?
even know what it's
I
We were talking
don't
about
know.
without Brock Lesnar leaving, there'd be no John
Oh,
Cena.
okay, all right.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you could say about a lot of things. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we already went through that. All the names of people that would never have got a push if big names didn't go.
Exactly.
It's just
What
the
about if
timing.
Kurt Angle never left to go to fucking
TNA?
Yep.
He
You
still
would-
would have been big.
You would never have seen again. I don't think you would have seen Edge get the push.
These
if
are a
he
bunch
would've
of
gone.
ifs.
You're right.
What ifs, so...
You're right.
I'm I know I'm right. I don't need that. If Angle did not leave, you would not have gotten guys who got
But
pushed.
do you really like?
Edge was a
listen,
mid-card.
Angle was asking for time off, and Vince was saying no.
No.
I don't know the real.
Opposite.
I really don't know the real reason.
Opposite. Angle didn't want to take time off, and Vince was trying to control what he was doing. Vince was like, "We're going to give you time off," but he wasn't going to get paid for that time off. You know what I mean? He's not getting paid as much. He didn't want it. He wanted to keep going, and there was confusion there with that.
Well, I mean, there's also he was addicted to painkillers.
Yes.
this and
Alcohol.
that.
He was an
That too.
alcoholic for a long
That
time.
too.
So
And
that-
WWE was realizing after what happened with a Guerrero, and then later what happened
Benoit.
with Benoit, but that was after, right?
That was way after.
Yeah.
That was 2007. This was 2006. Angle left.
So I mean,
I think that there are a lot of guys who would never have had the career boost they had other guys stayed. You could say that about any generation. I mean, if Hulk Hogan would have left,
Never left. Would Bret Hart have been the
yeah,
champion that we think of him as now? No, he'd be a great wrestler, but never,
Yeah.
Just think about Mr. Perfect. Can you say that like you thought that Bret Hart was like 50 times better wrestler than Mr. Perfect? I wouldn't say so. And
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect had more personality. He never was a champion because he was in the wrong time. He was. By the time Hogan left, he was having injuries and
Yeah.
problems, and he couldn't really wrestle anymore. So, like,
Even if you think about it, if Diesel wouldn't have left, would Triple H have had the career he had? You know what I mean? If Shawn Michaels never got hurt, would Triple H have really been the big guy he was? At that point, because he was not dating Stephanie
Shawn
at this
Michaels
point.
completely, you can give his whole career. I mean,
That's what I'm
think of
saying.
the guy. He's like what? He's like 5'11". They say he's 6 foot. I don't know.
Shawn
And,
Michaels
like,
doesn't get hurt. Does
Small,
Triple H ever
high
get big?
flyer guy, and they gave him the belt.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 12, like,
but I mean, they also gave Rey Mysterio the belt.
well, that was way before.
Yes,
I'm saying
this
they
was
would have given him
unknown.
a chance before that.
Yeah.
But they realized the crowd was behind him, and they didn't have anybody else. The crowd was really.
And
behind
again, had he not fucked up his back and neck and everything, had he not had to go out and take time off, would you have possibly even seen a Stone Cold arise
Yeah.
with
The only
with Shawn
person
Michaels not
I
getting
can
hurt?
say that his career has been set and it hasn't changed would be The Undertaker, in my opinion. I don't think it mattered.
I think there are
Anybody
two I
else,
would go
because
with.
The Undertaker
I
would
have to
never.
agree.
The Undertaker never had to be in the main event for so many years,
Yep.
but he still was so popular
Again,
and
a
relevant.
3-time champion in 20. What are we up to? 22.
Exactly. So I'm
technically?
saying he wasn't impacted by other
23,
people
maybe?
being stars. Like
The only other person I think I
He's
might
always
have
been
to
in the
throw in
ring.
there is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would have been a star no
he
matter
came
what he
in
did.
he came in the right place, right time. He was
You
given
think
the
so?
right gimmick. When
Yep.
Vince put
Yep.
that super American hero on him at the right time, and they
I
had
agree.
like the rock and wrestling thing, and it worked. I don't know.
For sure.
You think so?
I don't think Hulk
Without
Hogan.
a doubt.
All right. Well, I do agree with you
His
there. I'm
promo
just saying
style,
possibly.
Think about when he came around. Like if Hulk Hogan came around now, you just laugh at that promo, laugh it out the fucking
Well,
stadium.
The Undertaker came out right now. Do you think just came out now? Do you think he'd have the same impact?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think you'd be like,
If who?
The Undertaker. Meaning, would you still be afraid of him as you were?
I don't think you'd be afraid by you get the chills. Like
Well,
me and you said before.
We
like,
said we get gong when we hear me and Vinny were watching.
well,
before.
yeah. Now it's
The
more
gong
known
hits you like,
that
oh.
wrestling is fake than it was back then, so people were a little more scared back then. But
plus we were all kids, so
yeah,
I do agree
I
with
still
you.
think the Undertaker, no matter what,
Would have been who
I don't
he is.
think
Yes.
his career was made on pushes.
No.
No.
It was made on just the character and his performances
absolutely.
and consistency.
Well, I
Yes.
mean, Vince McMahon said it. If it wasn't for Mark Calloway, The Undertaker would be nothing. Or
true.
Triple H said that. One of those two said it. If it wasn't given to that guy,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have worked for anybody
I-
else.
No,
No.
It was him. It was a
Yeah.
perfect character for the perfect guy.
and like say,
Like Bray Wyatt.
I agree 100% with
but
that.
say if we take someone like Stone Cold, he was made to play that. That's him. It's an extension of him.
Yes.
The Rock also.
But I must say, I feel like at that time, that also was a product. Like, that was hitting on the attitude. And, like, if they gave that same thing to someone else, I think it could have been successful. Not as successful as Stone Cold. But I'm just saying, if you
I
compare it to
don't think
Undertaker,
Oh yes, yes. Someone else could have pulled off
someone
Stone
comes
Cold.
out, gives the finger, comes out in a beer truck, sprays people are going to love it. It wasn't, I don't know. It was,
You're right. You could have given Stone Cold to pretty much
It wouldn't have
anyone,
been
and
as
it would have been
good.
good.
wouldn't have been as good.
It would have been good. It wouldn't have been as good.
Austin just had
It was
the
a
look,
product
though.
of the time. Undertaker, I feel like, has just
Yeah,
transcended
but he kind
the
of
time.
Austin
And-
did look like other people though. He
it
didn't
was
have
the
that
Austin
look.
Goldberg thing, you know?
Yeah.
It was the whole-
No, I don't even see
They
it.
wore the same tights. They wore
Yeah,
both
well, I
had a
mean,
goatee,
they had
bald head,
goatees, bald heads,
black tight, black shorts, and that's
visually,
it.
yes, but
Junk.
I mean,
No, they both
one
wore
guy's all
short
about the
black
muscle
tights.
football player, like tackle people, and one was just like
I never really got into that either.
No, I never got into it either. But you could see at least look wise, they wore the same attire basically. But yeah, you're right. Stone Cold could have been done by anyone. It's just not as well.
Yeah.
But
Right time.
The Undertaker was
take a
the only
similar,
guy,
like
yeah.
darker gimmick, like Kane. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people could have played Kane.
What about The
Wasn't
Rock?
there two technically Kanes? I thought there was
No.
one other guy besides.
Same guy.
Was it?
What about
Yeah.
The Rock?
Clinton. What? There
You
was
think
only
someone
one Rock.
you think someone else could have played The Rock?
No, that was just his personality.
The Rock played into The Rock's character. Dwayne Johnson played into The Rock's character.
Yeah, of course. Well, you can say about all of them back then, but I'm saying like,
I think other people could have taken Triple H's role and done the same exact thing with it too.
oh yeah,
Easily.
yes.
Someone else, you could have handled Al
Now,
Snow. You
no.
could have given Al Snow Triple H's character and before we knew him as Al Snow. And we would have gotten the same thing.
I don't know about the same thing,
I
but
don't know.
well, yeah, I didn't like Triple H's character until
He was a badass who was
he didn't. He just yelled a lot, and
Yeah.
it was just like, I mean,
a tough guy.
if you talk about before when he was in DX, like I don't know if that many people could have done that.
No, you're right on that one. That was just chemistry between him and Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
though. You had to have that perfect mix match. And then you found other guys that you could throw in there after. You know, they all had the
That's why
chemistry.
Bret Hart said that Triple H wouldn't be in his top 100 wrestlers of all time. And he doesn't like him, but you know,
Oh,
he's still mad.
Well, yeah.
you know, Bret Hart, yeah, I don't
Bret Hart
think
is a sourpuss because he got fucking
Yeah.
he got
thrown
screwed.
around.
He
And,
got
I mean,
screwed.
he's had a lot
Right.
of like tragedy happen in his life too. Like the guy is just, you know, I mean,
Well,
he's just lost it.
let's be honest though, with the Owen Hart thing,
But
That
other
wasn't
than that,
Vince's
like,
fault.
no. I'm
You
just
know?
saying. I'm saying like he's had a lot of tragedy.
Yeah,
like
he's
that
had a lot of
happened.
shit.
His parents died not long after that.
No, I know, but I
he
mean,
went
like-
to WCW. That's almost a tragedy.
I mean, I know Owen Hart kind of fucked with him, and he was angry at Vince for a while. But that's not his fault. That wasn't Vince
No.
saying like, "Oh, you know, we're gonna." They thought it was safe. You
Well,
know,
no,
they
especially
tested
because
it.
they did tests before the actual event.
Yeah, you know.
It's a freak accident.
He was pissed off at it though. I heard a lot of rumors
Well,
saying.
I mean,
yeah,
hey,
if
tell him
if
to
your
send
brother fucking died from hitting
But
like,
it's not Vince's fault. 100%. It was an
Yeah,
idea.
no,
you'd
I-
be pissed.
But let's.
It was a gimmick
I
that went wrong.
I don't mean to bring like this.
It could have happened to
about
Shawn Michaels when he was
somebody who
dropping
passed
in.
away, but like. You have Owen Hart, like he's a talented wrestler and
then you
talented
turn him into a
talker.
joke.
And do you really need to have him do that?
No.
You need to ask that of him to get him.
But it
in
could
the
have
show,
happened with
like-
Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. He was coming in on the
That's
zip line.
different,
That could have completely just snapped, and Shawn Michaels fell into the crowd and died.
That's true, but
It could have easily happened.
I don't know the Owen Hart thing. I wasn't watching live,
I
How
was.
many times did Sting come down from the
I
rafters?
was.
but it was not.
Yeah.
It was not in similar fashion of the Shawn Michaels thing.
No, it was kind of resemblance of Sting coming
Thing
down.
come down, yeah. That's
But again, like Vinny just said, how many times has Sting done it? It seemed perfectly safe.
just
You
saying.
tested it. It just was an accident that
yes,
happened.
it was. I'm
It
just
was
saying,
scary
like,
as hell to watch.
From what I heard, I think I forgot where I was reading it, but they had actual WCW guys that run the harnesses for Sting and all that stuff do that for Owen.
Did they really? I never heard that. I mean,
Conspiracy.
Sure,
Come
call
on.
it what you will, but we're gonna close out this show
all right.
for the night, and we'll see you next week for episode 19.
Woo!
Thanks for listening again.
We ended this on a dark note.
We
We
did.
did.
Right?
Damn.
Happy.
happy,
Happy. Jeez.
Make sure you check out Chucky Madness. He made our theme
I
song.
thought you said Chuck out.
Yeah.
That would make sense
Yeah,
too.
check out our Chucky Madness. He made our theme song, and you can follow him on Twitter at Chucky Madness with 2 E's instead of a Y. How you would originally spell Chucky.
Really? That's the original.
Not like the
one?
killer.
You,
Not like the little doll.
yeah, sure, whatever.
Seed of Chucky.
Little
Bride.
bride of
Mm.
Ugh,
And then you can follow him on the YouTube at the same name.
that was
You can also follow us on Facebook at Under the Ring Radio. On Mixlr every Tuesday live at Mixlr.com. That's MIXLR.com/Under the Ring.
If you haven't done any of those yet, I'm double flipping you off right now.
He is.
Just did it.
And then if you can't, you can follow us on the YouTube at Under the Ring Radio. And then on the Twitter at Under the Ring 1.
Doesn't end.
And actually, on Tumblr, what's the other one? Foursquare?
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm just...
I was gonna say,
MySpace.
you're dropping a bomb on us. Like
I was
you
going to
did
ask what
last week
Foursquare was.
I'm
with
kidding,
the Instagram that never was.
MySpace.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
We
and
will
all the-
snap you pics of us while we're...
At, I mean,
Kidding.
we could. That'd be pretty fun, you know. Not really fun.
You're
but
always Snapchatting during the show anyways, so
that's
might as
true,
well.
but I can't now because we use my phone to do it live.
Do it live.
And you can follow us on the Twitter at Under the Ring 1.
Mentioned that.
Why the 1? Because we're the only one that matters. Be good.
Bye.
Yeah.
Eh?
Shut up.